One summer moment can change a child's life. Through Toys for Tots Give and Go initiative, your support provides books, games, toys, and outdoor adventures that spark curiosity, creativity, and a love of nature. Whether it's fishing, learning a new sport, reading under a tree, or playing with friends, these moments build confidence and lifelong memories. For too many children, those moments never come. You can help change that this summer. Visit toysfortots.org. Toys for Tots, delivering hope beyond the holidays.
Sid and Friends in the morning.
Entertaining and informative.
On the Red Apple Podcast Network.
I'm sorry, Sid. Hi.
Oh, God, don't be sorry. You kidding me?
No, I'm wrapped up in these meetings on peace. And I said, it's between peace and Sid Rosenberg. And I said, let's take Rosenberg, okay? So.
Reporters are Tom Homan increases his attacks on Governor Hochul, threatening yet again to surge more ICE agents into New York.
And with the World Cup just days away, there's new concern now that Homan's tactics could scare off visitors. Political reporter Marcia Kramer explains.
Ever since Kathy Hochul signed anti-ICE legislation 10 days ago, she's been caught in Tom Homan's crosshairs.
We're going to surge resource in New York. We have to. We have to.
Border czar Tom Homan upping the ante again just days before the first World Cup match here on Saturday. Homan has been especially upset about two provisions of the new laws here, one that bans ICE agents from wearing masks, and another that prevents the NYPD and local law enforcement agencies from signing cooperation agreements with ICE, pacts known as 287G agreements.
Governor Hochul signed legislation that ended our 287G agreements, where one agent can arrest one bad guy turned over by a jail. Now we got to send a whole team to look for that guy. So she took the efficiencies of the jails away in the 287G agreement. So it's math.
Regarding the World Cup, Homan was asked about a Somali referee denied entry to the United States.
I'm not familiar with that case.
Between 2 and 5 million international visitors are expected to come to the United States for the World Cup, many coming to New York. Some of the decisions made by the feds worry the mayor.
Be it the denial of visas for journalists from certain countries or the rejection of a visa for a coach of a team, as well as single-day visas for specific foreign national teams. This is anathema to what this tournament is supposed to be about.
Andrew Giuliani, you heard that cut. What are your thoughts on that?
Sid, first off, and always great to be on with you. But I have to tell you, this is just an example of the mayor lying directly to New Yorkers. There has not been one player that's been denied a visa coming in for the World Cup. 35 of the 40 teams that will start in the United States have come into the United States. Not one player has been denied a visa.
Not one.
Not one coach.
Well, what about this coach from Somalia? This guy who's a big deal, I guess.
He's not a coach. This guy is a ref, and this guy was talking to very bad people. There's a very good reason why he didn't. Secretary Rubio made very, very clear the other day that we are not going to allow terrorists to use the guise of a soccer tournament to come into the United States, and that is the position of the U.S. government. If Mamdani wants to ultimately allow a soccer tournament to give people the opportunity, look, we've facilitated 35 of the 40 teams that will start in the United States of America already. The other 5 teams will be coming in the coming days. There's been not one player that's been denied. There's not been one coach that's been denied. There's been one referee that's been denied, and it's for very good reason. And we can't talk about that without being in a skiff. I can't talk about the reasons on the radio, but I could tell you we are executing the President and Secretary Rubio's vision on this. We are not going to let a soccer tournament get in the way of national security. And we're not going to let the soccer tournament be a reason for having bad actors come into the United States to potentially do harm against Americans. It's that clear. It's that simple. Maybe Mayor Mamdani does not care about the welfare of New Yorkers. Maybe that's just the case. But guess what? President Trump does. He's going to make sure that this tournament is successful. He's going to make sure that this tournament is safe in spite of having to work around mayors like Mamdani, and we're going to do everything we possibly can to make sure that this tournament and America's 250th birthday is an incredible celebration of American exceptionalism all around.
Let's get to a developing story now. The U.S. launching airstrikes on Iran following the crash of an Army helicopter. Let's get right over to Alan Devlin with the latest on this situation. Alan.
And we first learned about this around noon. President Trump says it was an Iranian drone that shot down the U.S. Apache helicopter, which could further complicate what Trump says is an impending deal to end the war.
U.S. Central Command forces have confirmed the launch of a series of what they're describing as self-defense strikes against Iran, including on radar sites. The strikes come after President Trump blamed Iranian forces for downing a U.S. Army Apache helicopter near the Strait of Hormuz on Monday. On social media Tuesday afternoon, President Trump said there were 2 pilots involved. Both are safe and uninjured. Nevertheless, the United States must, of necessity, respond to this attack. But minutes before Trump's post, the Speaker of the Iranian parliament seemingly acknowledging the attack, saying, "We prefer the language of diplomacy, but we speak other languages far more fluently." Both pilots survived, rescued by an unmanned drone boat.
I think the Apache pilots are okay, which I'm very thankful of. Not ideal to lose an Apache helicopter. We're not building many anymore.
The service members spent 2 hours in the water off the coast of Oman before being picked up by the drone. They were later hoisted to safety by a helicopter, with both being in stable condition. Tuesday on Capitol Hill, some Republicans called for a strong response.
Obviously, Iran cannot be firing on U.S. troops. That's a serious problem.
Monday night, President Trump said the U.S. is 2 to 3 days out from securing a peace deal.
I think we're very close to having a very, very good, strong, powerful deal.
While Democrats argue the president has yet to get a handle on the situation.
The president has literally said over the last few weeks that the war with Iran is over more than 30 times. And that's just not true.
Israel also partook in a series of strikes against Hezbollah over the weekend. The president says that after speaking with Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, that should come to a halt as well. Christine, will that happen? Time will tell.
I don't want to talk about it. I told y'all Trump would mess everything up. It's his fault. It's his fault. Yeah, Jalen Brunson didn't pass the ball. He shot twice as much as everybody else. OG Anunoby had 28 points and 13 shots. Jalen Brunson had 32 points and 25 shots. It was like he was trying to win MVP. It's not how they played the first 2 games. But it's all about Trump. Trump ruined this. President Donald Trump showed up here and disrupted the vibe, disrupted the momentum, disrupted everything. And the New York Knicks faltered because of it. It's all his fault. That's all I have to say.
Okay, now that Graham Platner has won the Senate nomination in Maine, it's kind of time to admit the obvious. The Democrats have a Nazi problem. So Graham Platner had the skull and crossbones Totenkopf tattoo, the symbol of the Nazi concentration camp guards, for 19 years. This fits with his character, given that on Reddit, he blamed women for getting raped. He praised the tactics of a Hamas raid that killed Israeli soldiers, and lo and behold, called for the death of American soldiers as well. But that's just an isolated case, right? Nope. Adam Holloway will be the next Democratic congressman from New Jersey. He was great personal friends with Omar Abdel Rahman, the blind sheikh who was convicted in 1995 of planning a bombing campaign intended to destroy New York City landmarks. He then traveled with that sheikh to Bosnia to work with the Benevolence International Foundation, which was later shuttered as a front for Al-Qaeda. He then worked at Gaza's European hospital, where Hamas hid hostages and used it as a command center, leading Israel to airstrike its basement, killing the Hamas commander and brother of Yahya Sinwar, Mohammed Sinwar. The next Democratic member of Congress from Pennsylvania will be Chris Robb. Chris reposted a video promoting a conspiracy theory that the 2025 Bondi beach shooting, which a Muslim terrorist killed 15 Jews on a beach, including a 10-year-old girl, Matilda, were actually perpetrated by Zionists. So welcome to the new face of the Democratic Party.
So I just left this theater in Tribeca where Michael Rapaport debuted his brand new documentary. Am I canceled yet? And I have to tell you that 93 minutes later, I laughed, I thought a lot, and I cried a lot. What a courageous, I don't want to say story because it's real life. Michael and his wife, Kibi, boy, she was so amazing in this movie. I knew Michael was a great actor. I had no idea his wife was going to be so compelling and so beautiful and so great. And the journey that he went on, giving up gigs and being canceled. Lots of spots being canceled because he did what was right, which was stand up for the Jewish people and Israel, like I've done, and continue to do 4 hours a day, every day. In fact, going back to Israel next Thursday, going back in 8 days. But Michael Rapaport tonight just blew this theater away. Lots of big-time people in there, including actress Deborah Messing and others. Not a dry eye in the house. I've never been more proud to be a friend of anyone than Michael Rapaport. tonight. And I don't care if you're Jewish or not, Christian, you should see this documentary.
They changed the lyrics, and they made it about October of 2023 rather than April. So they went that route from Martin Luther King Jr. to what happened in Israel back in 2023. And we got all this news to get to today. We struck Iran, and what does that mean moving forward for the ridiculous ceasefire? This is the only ceasefire I've ever seen where the two sides continue to be at war. They continue to strike each other. We're calling it a ceasefire, and nobody loves and adores President Trump more than me, but it's ludicrous. The ceasefire where two sides continue to fight. And what does that mean for Israel and Lebanon? And more selfishly, what does that mean for my daughter, Ava, who is still in Tel Aviv as we speak? And what does that mean for me as I get ready to go back to Israel for the 5th time a week from tomorrow? That's right, folks, 8 days a week from tomorrow, back in Israel, splitting the time between Tel Aviv and Jerusalem. What does all that mean? So we'll get to that. Tom Homan was on this show, just Friday? He's like, hey, man, screw you, Kathy Hochul. Screw you, Mamtani. We're coming. We're going to put more ICE agents in New York than we ever have, more than any other city or state in the country. He is tired of Hochul, her new anti-legislation, anti-ICE legislation. He's tired of Mamdani. Got U.S. World Cup soccer about to start here in a couple of days, and you heard Andrew Giuliani on this show yesterday. They want to make sure that we're all going to be safe. So all these stories are out there. Graham Platner, lowlife, Nazi-loving, Jew-hating piece of garbage. Bernie Sanders talking about the oligarchy. Hey, Bernie, you old fool. You are the oligarchy. I mean, who has more money than Bernie Sanders? No one. Who the hell does Bernie Sanders think he's fooling? But he did drag Platner around like a dog around the state of Maine, and Platner made very easy work of Mills yesterday, getting about 72% of the vote, and that sets up a nice showdown in November between the Democrat Nazi Graham Platner and the Republican, who I don't like much either, Susan Collins. I'll take Collins over Platner 10 days a week. We'll get to that. Lindsey Graham wins. Nancy Mace, our good friend Nancy, boy, did she get clobbered. I mean, she got clobbered, and Pamela Yvette, who President Trump endorsed to be the next governor of South Carolina, she wins. So she's got a showdown coming up in November as well. So all these stories are out there. And, of course, the Knickerbockers. Game 4 coming up later on tonight. So I begged and pleaded with this idiot mayor yesterday to stop all these watch parties. There were 3 for Game 3, right? There was one in Bryant Park. That was a mess. 20-plus arrests. Cops getting beat up. Here we go again. The Summer of Love, George Floyd 2020, is back in New York, except this time, nobody got shot. This time, our basketball team is in the finals. That's how embarrassing New York has become. There were 2 other parties, one at Woolman Rink in Central Park, one at Brooklyn Bowl. There were even more than that. There were really about 10 parties. But after the last 2 games, the Game 2 win in San Antonio, where they had that party right outside Madison Square Garden, which resulted in over 20 arrests, the last 2 games for the Knicks, a road win in San Antonio and a home loss, these watch parties have become basically pro-Hamas rallies. Violence, arrests, they're out of control. Out of control. Not the fault of Jessica Tisch and the NYPD. No. The fault of the mayor, because he continues to allow this to go on because he loves chaos. I'm going to play some bit. What is the name of that stupid dinner they do every year, which I've never gone to once, where the mayor makes fun of the media? What is that, the Inner Circle?
Yeah, that's it.
That was a dinner this year where Curtis Sliwa finally exposed himself as the real backstabber, the real sellout, doing that awful comedy bit with Mamdani that wasn't funny at all. You remember that, right? No?
Yeah.
Well, you may remember that night there was a Sid Rosenberg impersonator.
Yeah, I do remember that.
You can't make it up. No. I think the name of this guy is James Pontillo. Maybe it's Pontillo. I don't know. So he's kind of fat, and maybe he's not. I don't know.
He was just bald. That's why he got the job.
No, he's not bald.
Oh, he's not?
That is a skull cap.
Oh, that's funny.
I went to his Instagram page yesterday because he did another piece on me. So he wears this skull cap, and then he makes his skin all red and blotchy, which is ridiculous because anybody who's sitting with me right now knows my skin is bronze, tan, and beautiful. It's not red and blotchy. In fact, last night, when I get to this premiere I went to, everybody remarked on how beautiful I looked and loved my tan. Everybody. What a great tan. What a great tan. But all these ugly people who don't get tan, they attack me because they don't want to attack what I'm talking about on the air because I'm always right. So now the new thing, and it really started with Jon Stewart, we'll get to him as well, when he made fun of me after I said, hey, Bad Bunny, could you speak a little bit of English? He kind of started the whole thing with the Jewish Thanos. That's the new thing. No one really debates what Sid Rosenberg says anymore because I'm right. So everybody who doesn't like me makes fun of my tan. That's how it goes. So he puts also white zinc on his face. And he did a whole new bit about me yesterday. We'll get to that. I think his name again, what did I say? James Pontillo or Pontillo? I don't know. It doesn't matter. I'm honored that there are people out there. Last week, there was the kid from Kevin Clancy from Barstool, who also did a video on me, which got millions of views, which was also about my tan. Call me purple. Remember that, no? So that seems to be the big deal these days. Can't make fun of what Sid Rosenberg says on the air, although they'll try. All he talks about is how Mamdani's a jihad, blah, blah, blah. It really comes back to the tan. But anyway, so all these stories will cover Stephen A. Smith. You know, the more I listen to Stephen A., make a real argument, and he's not alone. His old cohort in crime, Max Kellerman, Spike Lee, they are going on and on and on how President Trump really cost the Knicks Game 3. And it was kind of cute when I brought Stephen on the show 2 days ago. We had a nice back and forth that made for very good radio. But the more they go there, the dumber it sounds. You agree with that, Noam?
Yeah, of course.
It sounds so stupid. And they're really going with it. Like if the Knicks lose tonight, or God forbid lose this series, they're going to blame Trump. No, I swear to God, they're going to blame Trump. So we're going to bring Joe Beningo on today. I'm sure Beningo, who's been a Knicks fan a lot longer than even Spike Lee or Stephen A. Smith, WFAN legend, knows his sports, knows his basketball, also loves President Trump. I'm sure Beningo is going to run roughshod on those guys. But I did mention I was at this documentary premiere last night. I was in Tribeca. Boy, what a ritzy part of town, too. You know, I lived in the city twice, 2 different locations when I came back to New York in 2016. I spent the first 6 months when I came back living in Brooklyn because Danielle and my kids had to stay in Florida because Gabriel and Ava had to finish their school that year. I came up in January. They had to finish their schooling through June. So I moved up to New York and moved in with my sister, Ray Sherry, and my brother-in-law, Albert, in Mill Base in Brooklyn. And Danielle and the kids, we go back and forth until they moved here permanently in June of that year. But even when they moved here, we stayed at my sister's house. It wasn't until January of 2017 that we moved out, got our own place. And we started in Fidei. I like that area. Down by Wall Street, the South Street Seaport, Fraunce's Tavern. I love that area. Love living there, but the family didn't. So after about 2 years of living in that area, Danielle ended up finding an apartment on 104th, actually between 104th and 105th on West End Avenue, the Upper West Side, where, of course, being the MAGA, huge Trump supporter I am, I stuck out like a sore thumb. And those are the days of COVID when I refused to wear a mask, living with a bunch of freaked out, old, blue-haired Jewish people on the Upper West Side who hate Trump, hate Republicans, and they all thought they were going to die during COVID. And here I am going up and down the elevator every day, not wearing a mask. I told you the story. I became very friendly with all the doormen, very Colbert Perez. I still remember his name. I come down one day in the elevator, and Danielle and the kids were upstairs, and right outside the elevator is a poster. You can't make this up. In my building where my family lives, the poster is my face, and it reads, or it read, I should say, "If you see this man, please call 911."
Oh, that's great.
Isn't that unbelievable, Noam?
That's awesome.
Unbelievable. I said to Danielle, I said, I don't know, maybe it's time to move. So she always had this dream of living in Belle Harbor in Queens. Her grandparents, both gone now. I did not know her grandfather very well, Martin, but Florence, who we called Nana, was my mother-in-law because Danielle's mom was killed in a car crash when she was young. And I loved Nana. She lived till she was 97 years old. She's gone about, I don't know, she died not long before my dad did. Maybe 2 years before that. Yeah, it was about 7 years. So she used to go when she was a little kid with her grandparents to their friend's house in Belle Harbor, Queens, on the beach. And when I started dating Danielle in 1991, now we're going back 35 years ago. We're going to be married 34 years later on this month. In fact, next 2 weeks from tomorrow, June 25th, will mark 34 years. So she would go with her grandparents, and I would, when we were dating, go with them. And I also enjoyed Belle Harbor. So after 6 or 7 years of living in New York City, we decided to look into moving into Belle Harbor, and we did it. And that's where we are now. I did spend all that time in the city, 6 or 7 years, and those two areas, I enjoyed the Wall Street, South Street, Seaport area. I didn't love the Upper West Side, but Tribeca, that is beautiful, Noam. Lou, you like Tribeca?
I like a lot of those areas. I like Five
Yeah.
I like Tribeca.
Yeah. The downtown areas are cooler. I'm sorry, the Village. So anyway, there's, in fact, with the theater, which is at 375 Greenwich, I guess they would call it the Tribeca Film Festival Theater, is next door to some ritzy restaurant. And I'm standing outside because I left right after the film was over. They had a long Q&A, but I couldn't stay because I get up very early in the morning. So I'm standing outside waiting for my Uber. And the next thing I hear is this commotion, the restaurant right next door, and some black guy walks out. He had the cornrows, the sunglasses, the pressed white shirt. Reminded me of P. Diddy in his heyday. And about 100 people run over to this guy, and they're standing around him with their cell phones up in the air. I still, to this moment, have no idea who this guy is. No idea. But it was such a scene, and I said to a young lady standing next to me, I go, I don't really care who that is, but does this happen all the time? She says, yes. That area, all that stuff happens all the time. So anyway, I see this this movie last night. It's a documentary. It's about 93 minutes long. Michael Rapaport and his lovely wife, Kibi. And I didn't know she was an actress because she was in a couple of episodes of season 7 of Curb Your Enthusiasm. She's done a couple of movies. So she is an actress. I didn't know that. Michael, of course, is a great actor. Not good, great, funny comedian. So the movie starts, Noam, with Michael running into this hotel or comedy club in Tel Aviv, and he starts to perform for this crowd in Israel, but it's less about comedy and more about, it was funny, there was some very, very funny scenes, more about what was going on in Israel, in New York, around the world. And a lot of folks who went to Israel after the October the 7th, yes, they all went to the Nova Music Festival. You can get to that easily. You can see the car cemetery, the RPGs that ended up slamming into these cars and killing young kids trying to escape the concert. Hundreds, thousands of cars. But most folks could not get into the kibbutzim, you know, the little villages and homes and communities where Hamas entered and put babies into ovens and raped little kids and murdered all their moms and dads. Really, the worst part of that day is what took place in those kibbutzim, but you weren't able to get in because there was still blood all over the place. And you remember, Noam, that was the most difficult thing to do. Well, Rapaport takes you inside one of those homes where it turns out a mom, a dad, and 3 children were all murdered. And you can still see the blood above the beds, the little kids' beds. You can see the house was charred. They shot him, and then they set the house on fire. So everything was charred, the washing machine, the dryer, the kitchen table, but you still saw remnants of what was once a family. So it was really disturbing because a lot of folks never really saw those graphic images. Some didn't want to, and some just didn't have the access to it. But Michael takes you inside of that, spends a lot of time in Hostage Square on Tel Aviv and talks to a lot of the hostage families. And, you know, he spoke of that. Remember that monster rally that we had in Washington, D.C.? About 500,000 people. Remember that, Noam?
I do.
Michael spoke at that. So you see Michael. But then what was great about the movie was, and I've experienced this at home with my wife, you know, Danielle. Danielle's been upset a lot over the last couple of years. She's worried about my safety. You guys know that. There was a time when I was calling Eddie Caban. He was the police commissioner before Jessica Tisch, and begging him to protect me on the way to work. You remember, Lou? I was scared to get out of the car at 5 o'clock in the morning. And Eddie was very nice and more than once actually did help me out. But I've got children, too. You see, Michael and Kibi don't have kids together. I've got 2 kids. So Danielle would always be like, it's not just about you. You're doing this. You're saying this. We got 2 kids. So throughout the movie, you see this tension while his wife is very supportive and loving, like mine. You see this tension. Scenes that brought both Michael and his wife to tears. One scene, she goes, I don't know what's happening to you. I've heard that a lot from Danielle, whether it's about Israel or even President Trump. Like, I don't know what's happening to you. You used to be a Brooklyn Democrat. So a lot of those scenes hit me very, very hard because the dynamic between Michael and his wife, very similar to me and my wife. Very. The difference is Danielle is more mad, I think. At any rate, it was a really good documentary. It really was. It was funny at times. It was brutal at times. It was sad, drove me to tears. And I don't want to give away the ending, but, you know, Michael lost a lot of gigs, made that very, very clear. You hear the conversations between Michael and his agent, and agent basically saying, look, what you're doing is great, but they don't want you. So Michael lost a lot of gigs and a lot of money along the way. Why? Because he did the right thing. He stuck up for the Jewish people and Israel. But now, in this day and age where anti-Semitism is the new thing, it's really cool to hate on Jews. You win elections, right? Look at Graham Platner. This guy's living large. 71% of the vote in Maine yesterday. He just hates Jews. That's not his only issue. He's got many more than that, but that's the thing these days. You know, Israel is committing genocide, and Bibi's a terrible person. I was watching an interview with that jackass Cory Booker a couple of days ago where he actually said Bibi Netanyahu is a horrible person. No, Cory Booker, you jerk off. You're the horrible person, not Bibi. Okay? As he gets set to take on Murphy because Murphy beat my friend Alex Zidane in the Republican primary last week. But that's the thing these days, man. Hate on the Jews. You'll be cool. Yeah. Yeah, you can listen to Tucker Carlson, and you can listen to Candace Owens and Sean Ryan and Ron Paul and all these wonderful people who are going to tell you that the real problem in the world today is Israel. That's the cool thing. And Rapaport, like Sid Rosenberg said, no, it didn't go that way. What happened was, on a very quiet Saturday morning, which is Shabbat and a holiday on top of it, these animals who were training in plain sight, which is, that obviously does go back to Bibi and Israel's intelligence, the lack of training in plain sight for months in Gaza, did what they did, which was murder over 1,200 people in the most violent and disgusting fashion in the history of civilization. That's what happened. And it still happens. They're still killing Jews. And Israel fought back. And you don't like it. You don't like the fact that if you punch me in the face, I'm going to knock your ass out. And that's what Israel does. They're not committing genocide. They're not purposely killing anybody. You know, it's kind of like the ICE conversation. That lying sack of garbage, the Governor Kathy Hochul, went on and on yesterday about how somebody was arrested going to church. And we just want to make sure that the ICE agents aren't doing what they do. They go into schools. No, they don't. That's a lie. They go into churches. No, they don't. That's a lie. They just lie. You know, Hochul, Mamdani, all these Booker, all these anti-ICE people. They don't go to any of those places, dickface. Same thing with Hamas. We're not blowing up schools to kill Palestinian children. Hamas and the Palestinians, who are every bit a part of this, it was the Palestinian people, not Hamas, who abducted the Bibas family. You remember them? The beautiful mom with the red hair, her two beautiful little baby boys with the red hair, murdered in captivity. Bare hands. The husband, Jordan Bibas, who does have a mention in the movie, he survived, but his wife and two children were murdered by Hamas and Palestinians. Hamas purposely sets up all their operations in schools, in hospitals, knowing that you stupid morons out there are going to keep pounding Israel because, yes, if we find out you're holed up no matter where you are, we are going to find you and we're going to kill you. If you're in a school, we're still going to blow you up. Sorry, that's where they are. What are we supposed to do? What are we supposed to do? Let them stay there? So the next October 7th is a couple of years away? We're not doing that. So that's why every now and then you see a bomb hit a place and go, oh, my God, those Israelis are monsters. No. The other side is purposely setting up there so you dumb bastards all across the country who are spewing this hateful lie about Israel will continue to do it. You fall for it every time because you're stupid. And like I said, it's the thing these days to hate the Jews. Cool, man. It's cool. So Michael takes you through this whole journey. And it's really well done. It's a beautiful piece. The name of it again is Am I canceled yet? Am I canceled yet? Have I piqued your interest? No?
Yeah, I'd like to see it. Is it going to be just in theaters? Or
I don't know. That's a very good question. Nice crowd there last night. If you go to my Instagram page, at rosenberg.sydney, that's SIDNEY, at rosenberg.sydney. My Twitter, which is starting to pick up, at Sid Rosenberg 19. Miranda Devine says it's the best Twitter account in the country. I agree. At Sid Rosenberg 19, my Truth Social, Sid, or my Facebook page, Sid Rosenberg, you're going to see a really good picture. And I have to say, we both look really good of me and the very, very famous actress, Deborah Messing. Deborah, of course, the star of Will and Grace, who is a fierce Israel advocate. So I put the picture, Lou and Noam, of me and Deborah Messing on all my social media. We both look great. And what do you think the overwhelming message was from my fans, people who love me? What do you think the overwhelming message was?
That why are you taking a picture with a liberal Hollywood actress?
Bang!
Oh, wow. That was a good guess
Bang!
on my part.
You nailed it. F her. She hates our president. Bah, bah, bah. Listen, folks. That's not how I live my life. I don't. Now, I do in certain cases because I am a hypocrite. I am a proud hypocrite. Feel free to write it. Feel free to call me whatever you want. I admit it. Now you can't call. I admit it. I'm a hypocrite. I won't play a Bruce Springsteen song. I won't play a Roger Waters song. I won't play an Eric Clapton song. I won't talk to people who say bad things about Israel and Bibi or President Trump. But yes, I'm more than happy to take a picture with Deborah Messing. Why? Last night, I was not at a Trump rally. Okay? First of all, she wouldn't have been there because she does hate him. But last night was about Israel and the Jewish people. And in that spot, Deborah Messing is gold. She's gold. So, and she's famous. Maybe even more famous than me. I don't know. That's debatable. So I put the picture up knowing exactly what I was going to read, and I don't care. Like I said, and not about President Trump last night. I don't think at this point, do I have to prove Lou and Noam how much I love the president or how much he loves me? Do I have to prove that at this point?
No,
I don't think so.
We play it in the open every day.
Well, that's true, too, yes. And I don't think the president cares. If the president of the United States, for you people that are so angry on my social media, if he could be nice to Mom Donnie, I could be nice to Deborah Messing. Is that fair? No?
Yeah, well, you know, she's just another person that you were chatting it up with last night. What do you care?
She was at it wasn't even a pro-Israel, pro-Jewish event. It was a movie, and she's an actress. She's friends with Michael Rapaport, and just so happens that she is pro-Israel, so it made sense that she was there last night, and it made sense that I went over and said hello and took a nice picture.
By the way, I think she's probably in the same boat as Michael Rapaport. I assume she's lost some acting gigs because of her politics.
Probably so. Anybody who's been pro-Israel, pro-Jew, pro-Bibi Netanyahu has lost gigs and money, 100%. The difference is she was kind of past it. She already done Will and Grace, and I don't know. I mean, she's not old by any stretch. She's still attractive. Michael kind of still in the prime of his career. I don't know. My guess is you're right, but I don't know where they were in their careers, so who necessarily had it worse. But any of these people who did that. Now, you can just be, I don't know, Mark Ruffalo, and you'll get plenty of acting gigs because you have no issue when 6 Hamas guys gangbang an Israeli girl and then cut her head off. You're cool. Mark Ruffalo, you're cool. That's good. We like that. That's good. Good job. So he continues to get opportunities, I guess. I don't know. He's a loser. But you're right. She's probably in the same boat. There were some other people there last night that I happened to be friendly with that I really love. Abraham Hamra. Abi, he's on this show quite a bit. Great Persian Jew. See, Abi is pro-Israel and pro-Palestine, which I can't stand, but I love him so much. And he's such a great, great fighter. I let him get away with it. So he was there last night. Ari Ackerman, one of the few influencers I still talk to these days. He was there last night. There were a few other people that were there that, quite frankly, I forgot their names. One guy named Scott Schreier. He may be listening right now. He claims he listens every morning and he loves me. I met him. He was there last night. But the theater was packed. There was not one open seat in the place, which made me happy, from Michael Rapaport and Kibi and the whole crew. And again, the name of the documentary is Am I Canceled Yet? See, I don't have to worry about that because I don't get a ton of gigs outside of this, right? So even the Jewish organizations have an issue with me. See, Michael doesn't have that. Michael may have lost acting gigs, okay? But if we're going to be honest, and I always am, and I love Michael like a brother, he's made a lot of money because he hosts just about every Jewish event just about every night. I mean, this guy, he must have raked in hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars hosting all these Jewish events. And a lot of those events that Michael hosts, I'm never invited to because I do draw the line with the liberal Jew who hates Trump. Not with Deborah Messing last night, but the Jewish organizations, a lot of them look at me as the enemy. You know that, Noam.
I'm not surprised to hear that.
Yeah, I've never made a penny. Never made a penny off of October the 7th. And some of these influencers that feign this horror because people claim they're getting paid, they are getting paid. They may not be getting $7,000 per post, but every time they get these clicks on Instagram, they're getting paid. So they're lying. Some of them are my own friends. They're lying. They are getting paid. I never made a penny. I mean, I've had trips to Israel and sponsorships, those types of things, but never made a penny. Even the dinners that I've hosted, and I've hosted a bunch over the years, not one paid me. Not one. Guys are making $25,000, $50,000. Somebody told me last week their organization wanted to have Douglas Murray come into New York and host one of their dinners. He wants $100,000. $100,000. Douglas Murray. You believe that?
Well, why shouldn't they pay him?
Why should they or why shouldn't they?
Yeah, why shouldn't they? You know, if you want him to speak and he's in demand, then he should get a payday.
100%. And if he can get that money, good for him.
Yeah.
I've never made a penny. Never. I've been back and forth to Israel now, going for the 5th time next Thursday. I talk about it, not every day, not all day. I know Curtis likes to say that. Curtis, when you get it 2, give me a call, okay? I actually saw some idiot put on Twitter the competition in the morning. Do your homework, sir. Pay attention to the ratings. There is no competition. I should be put in prison for how badly I beat the WOR morning show. In fact, to be honest with you folks, Curtis has made no difference. None. From like a 1.7 to a 1.9. I know that's inside baseball number talk, but I'm more than double. Certain weeks, I triple what they do across the street. He has made 0 difference in the morning show. And this war that he once said, if I remember correctly, when he started, Sid's reign is going to be over. Yeah, when's that going to be? I think he actually does worse in the ratings than he did with the percentage in the election, which was an all-time low 7%. So shut your mouth, okay? Go do your job and shut up. I don't care if you get 90,000 clicks on Instagram and Twitter because you have a whole bunch of bots on there. Those aren't real people. I don't care. This is the show. I am the guy. That's it. But I don't talk about Israel all day. Not even close. Anybody, to me, Noam, you're on this show 4 hours a day.
Yeah.
You listen, you get involved 4 hours a day. Is that even close to being true?
No.
Even close?
No.
No. We talk about Mamdani. We talk about Hochul. We talk about Trump. We talk about sports. We talk about Ava and Gabe and music and a variety of things. That's why this show does so well. This isn't 2 years ago when, yes, a lot of the talk was about Israel. There are plenty of days I don't even mention Israel.
Well, yesterday would be the perfect example.
Didn't even bring it up.
We talked about the Knicks for the first hour.
That's right. Didn't even bring it up. So when somebody says that, odds are they're just an anti-Semite. Because I can say Israel once, oh, that's all he talks about. That's nonsense. Now, today, yes, because of that great Michael Rapaport documentary, we'll move past that now, Norman. You're going to tell me what else is going on. What's the big stories today?
Well, you mentioned Graham Platner. I mean, it was not a surprise that he won the Democratic primary. So now he moves on to the general election in November. And then you had Steve Hilton he officially won the second place in the race for governor. So in that primary that took 7 days to count the votes. So now he'll face off against Javier Becerra come the fall. So we know he's in the governor's race. The SoFi Stadium beverage workers, they're going to be they settled their strike, so they'll work, for the World Cup, which begins on Friday. And then overseas, I don't know if you saw this yesterday, but there was fires set, cars turned over in Belfast in the United Kingdom. This is after a Sudanese man was arrested over a knife attack. And so you had these anti-immigrant people taken to the streets last night, turning over buses. They set homes on fire. And parts of the city just a mess this morning. And then in Iran, they fired back. Yesterday you saw the president talked about the fact that this Apache helicopter was shot down. Thankfully, you
hear the news go, the Apache helicopter crashed.
Yeah.
Kind of like when they said Hersh Goldberg died.
Right.
He didn't die, idiots. He was executed. He was murdered. CNN would go, oh, Hersh Goldberg died. No, 20-plus-year-old people usually just don't die. Now they've been being held captive by Hamas. Same thing with these news outlets with the helicopter. It didn't just crash. It was shot down. Right?
That it was. And so the U.S. took revenge yesterday. And then this morning, Iran fired back. They attacked the Fifth Fleet in Bahrain, and they hit an air base apparently in Jordan this morning, all in response to those U.S.
Kuwait,
airstrikes.
too. They hit all three.
Yeah.
Bahrain, Jordan, and Kuwait.
In fact, the Iranian foreign minister saying this morning that you continue to test our determination and we'll fire back. We're not going to leave any attack unanswered.
They're not quitting.
Yeah.
They're not quitting anytime soon. This war is not ending anytime soon. I know Trump says we could be 48 hours away from a deal. I love you, Mr. President, but whatever deal you think you're making ain't going to work. They're not going to comply anyway. What is the difference? Who cares about a signature on a piece of paper?
Well,
They've proven that with Barack Obama and John Kerry. Those guys tried the same nonsense. Now, Trump may get a little bit of a better deal, but again, he's relying on an Iranian signature. You may as well wipe your ass with that. He knows better. He should know better. I love the man. I love him. I love what he's trying to do. It's all very honorable and very, very good. It's never going to work. They're not going to stop. They're going to do what they have to do to build a nuclear bomb. They're going to get as much money as they can, whatever outlet they can, and one day, once again, fund those terror proxies, whether it's Hezbollah, the Houthis, or Hamas. That's why Iran exists. Whatever deal they sign, they're not going to go from terrorists and murderers to decent people, not the regime. The civilians, different story. They are good people, but they're not in charge. So the deal, whatever it's going to be, if there's going to be a deal, is not going to work. It's the bottom line. So now if you're Israel, you got to worry that, in a couple of years, they'll come at you again, right? Especially if, God forbid, and I know Scott Besson keeps getting asked this, if, God forbid, there's any money, loosening any restrictions in this deal, then no matter what else you get in the deal, whatever lies the Iranians sign on, it's a bad deal. It's a terrible deal. You cannot let these people get $1, not $1. I'm sorry, go ahead, Doug.
Yeah, well, and that's part of the reason the Israelis seem to be ignoring the warnings from the White House to stop, because they feel like they can maybe finish off Hezbollah, which is a proxy of Iran. They have them, all the way into southern Lebanon, the Israeli forces, and they continue to go after them. So it seems as though Bibi Netanyahu is not going to pay attention, at least for now, what the president's telling them, because they think they can finish them off. Because they've been here before, and they haven't finished them off, and then 3 or 4 years later, the missiles start flying into Israel again.
Same thing.
Yeah.
All right. I want to get to this watch party thing quickly, too, because, again, I called for the mayor yesterday to stop these because they get too hectic and chaotic, and there's not enough police in this city, despite Tish's best efforts to maintain control. So, of course, you didn't listen. He doesn't care. He doesn't care if people get bashed over the face. He certainly doesn't care if a couple of cops get bashed over the face. He's proven that. So there's going to be another watch party, again, outside of MSG. Remember, they canceled that for Game 3 because the president was in town. So they're going back to the watch party right outside of MSG. But you're telling me that's going to be very hard to get into that.
Yeah, it's a ticketed event. Only 1,000 people are going to be let in. They'll have to go through some pretty serious screening.
Yeah, but 1,000 people will be let in, but then you get thousands that make their way towards there, and they just knock down barricades and beat up cops. And what are you doing?
Yeah, well, that was the issue at Bryant Park, right? So it wasn't the people inside Bryant Park at that watch party on Monday night that went crazy. It was the people who could not get into the watch party who started fighting with cops. So what happens tonight when these people show up? Because they're not paying attention to us that we're telling them it's a ticketed event. They got to go online and register. They're going to show up and try to get in.
Yeah.
And maybe we're at the same point again. Now, I would imagine the NYPD's on top of it. They'll maybe keep these people far away, but
they're outnumbered. Of course they're on top of it. But what do you want Jessica Tisch and the cops to do? And not only are they outnumbered, but they can't do anything. So if some kid walks up to a cop and punches him across the face, the cop can't retaliate. He doesn't have the power to do that. He doesn't have the people backing him to do that. Then you get some idiot on a cell phone who only tapes the part where the cop hits the kid, not the part before where the kid threw a battery at the cop. They don't have immunity, these cops. So they're going out there. They're basically sitting ducks. Just so you folks know that. All you folks that love Mamdani, you think he loves the Knicks. He's so excited for our city. He literally has the cops as sitting ducks, no immunity, and a bunch of people out there on the streets, anarchists. It's like the movie The Purge, who can't wait to take that next video where the cop, who was actually self-defense, defending himself or herself, can't wait to take that video where the cop gets physical with a civilian who deserves it, but you'll never see that part on the video. Like, kind of like that asshole who's in the city council, Jay Osei, that lowlife. Remember him? When he elbowed the cop lady, but all you saw was him on the floor yelling and screaming, "Get off of me! Get off of me!" At that ridiculous Brooklyn, I guess, protest that he was a part of. He didn't show the part where he elbowed the lady cop. And then the next thing you know, you're going to be on the floor. But they don't do that, no, do they?
No, and of course that story, you notice how it just kind of went away.
Went away. See ya. Julie Menon came out. All the folks came out in support of this guy, the same guy that spends his time on the floor at the city council calling President Trump a pedophile, which is part of the reason why every day I get called a pedo, which is beyond disgusting. Then people want to know why we're sick of the Jeffrey Epstein story. Maybe that's why. Maybe when you start to label innocent people as all these horrible things, people have had enough. And the people who have had enough are no different than you. I'm a father of two. I want to see every pedophile, if not put in jail, put to death. Anybody who was involved in that ring deserves to be in prison. None of us don't feel that way. None of us. But when you start to get crazy and act out of control and start labeling everybody a pedo, then you start to lose some of that support. Is that fair, Noam?
I think it is.
What else? Quickly, because it went on for 57 minutes.
On a much lighter note connected to the Knicks game, have you seen, people talked about the Donald Trump curse, but Donald Trump only went to one game. Apparently, there's a Jon Stewart curse. Have you seen this?
Jon Stewart?
Yes.
I'm going to play him actually next segment.
That when Jon Stewart attends a game, more often than not, the Knicks lose, and he was at game 3.
Is that right?
Yes, he was at the Garden.
Oh, this is perfect. So I'm going to take a break because I've got not one, but two pieces of audio from Comedy Central's very own, the aforementioned Jon Stewart. Nice job out of you, Noam. By the way, that was a great hour, Noam. Thank you for that. We're going to take a break. We've got a lot of guests stopping by today. John Solomon, he's big time. The former governor, now amazing senator from the state of California, Rick Scott. He's also big time. Peter King, big time. Scott Lebedo, big time. Beningo can't make it. He's actually playing golf in a golf tournament today, so we'll get somebody to talk about Game 4 between the Knicks and the Spurs later on tonight. Anyway, you look at it, it's going to be a great show. It's Wednesday.
Sid and Friends in the morning on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
Why do they do stuff like that? They put Pete Rose in the Hall of Fame. He's dead. They name the street after Jimmy. He's dead. Do good stuff for folks while they can still enjoy it. It's what President Trump always wants, Name that airport after me now so I can go there and see it before I'm dead. But I guess there is honor and posthumous celebration as well. Jimi Hendrix Way on 8th between 5th and 6th. And I'm always, I don't want to say surprised, but I love being in the city on a nice night during the week, like I was last night. It was a beautiful evening. The weather was perfect. And all we hear about is no one has money, right? The economy is terrible. No one has money. Here I am in Tribeca, where I'm going to guess that these restaurants and these bars are not cheap. That's my guess, okay? Like a drink will be $15 for a single. And I got to tell you, I walked a bunch of blocks because, again, it was a lovely evening and my Uber was 16 minutes away. So I decided to walk a little bit. And it's a beautiful, ritzy area, Tribeca. And every one of the restaurants and bars, that's one little area, right? You can imagine what the Village looks like, what Midtown looks like, and the Upper East Side looks like. That area in Tribeca was packed. So I always go home and say, everybody's broke. No one has any money. Yet New York, the restaurants and bars are the most expensive in the country. And you can't get in. What is that all about, Noam?
I don't know. I saw the same thing in Jersey City last night. Everybody had everybody had the tables out because it's summertime, and you would have been waiting 45 minutes to get a seat.
Same thing. Oh, Bobby Hartman checks in. My dear friend Bobby, Mainstream House out there in Riverhead, all the way out there. For Papa and Finkel, we got the big annual tournament coming up June 28th, which, again, Bobby making me a part of over the last couple of years. Darryl Strawberry, Thomas Hollywood Henderson. It's a great event for our brothers and sisters in recovery. He says it is not Electric Lady Studios, it's Electric Lady Land Studios, and I'm going to go with Bobby because he's got a ponytail and he did a lot of drugs. When you have a ponytail and you've done drugs, you know about Jimi Hendrix, so I'm going to go with him. All right, we'll take a break. We have about 5 or 6 great guests coming up today, a lot to discuss. We've already discussed a lot. We did a 58-minute segment to open the show, so we'll be right back on this, the Wednesday edition.
This is Sid on Sports.
Oh, my goodness! Sponsored by Peerless Boilers on 77 WABC.
Justin Ellick here with your sports update, sponsored by Pete Morgan and Peerless Boilers. Go to peerlessboilers.com to find a deal near you. Peerless Boilers, the world's best built of boilers. Of course, we're looking ahead to tonight, 8:30 p.m., Game 4 of your NBA Finals. Our Knicks heading in as 2.5-point home favorites.
You see what the idiot mayor has declared today?
Oh, yeah. Wear orange and blue day, or wear blue and orange day?
Wear orange and blue day, because he loves the Knicks. Even Whoopi Goldberg made the point on The View a couple of days ago how much Mamdani loves the Knicks. He loves them so much.
Loves them a lot.
I'll keep saying it. He thinks the Knicks play basketball games in a stadium. And, of course, Mr. Mayor, you dumb bastard, they play games in arenas.
Right.
They do play soccer in stadiums. You'll be right about that when the World Cup starts in a couple of days.
Yeah, but just be safe about it. Just say, I'm going to be inside MSG.
Yeah.
Then you know you won't get it
He's
wrong.
just so stupid. He knows nothing. He knows nothing. But he goes to all these events and he smiles.
I don't know if he'll be there tonight. I didn't see.
He's going to be there tonight.
Oh, he's okay. Okay, great.
Yeah.
Well, how about that? You'll see Mayor Mamdani up in the blue seats.
So if they lose tonight,
yeah,
and Trump is not there,
and you got to blame Mamdani, no?
Right, because you're 0-1 when Trump is in the building. You're 0-2,
right,
when Dick Bates Mayer is in the building.
And 2 is bigger than 1. So
what is that now?
2 is more than 1, so that would be more losses than Trump's responsible for.
What college did you go to? They did a great job.
Yeah, here you go. You get your little joke in.
Uranus.
Yeah, there you go. Nice.
What is the real name of the college?
Ursinus College.
Ursinus, okay. Yeah. You know, one day about a month ago, I was at the mall in Queens with Danielle and Gabriel.
Yeah.
And they were shopping, doing phone stuff.
I think you told me this. Right?
I told you this. And I went to one of the restaurants in the mall, and it was moments before the Yankees were taking on the Tampa Bay Rays. And I guess they do this every Yankee game.
Mm-hmm.
They had the students from Ursinus College introduce the Yankee lineup.
How about that?
How about that?
The softball team, right?
I think it was the girls' softball team, yes.
Yeah, no, it definitely wasn't the men's baseball team. I'll tell you.
Shocking. Or I'm like, oh, my God, Justin, right now, the Yankees, they're talking about your college.
Huh. How about that? Yeah. All right. Up the Bears. Out in Cleveland, Jazz Chisholm Jr. homered leading off.
What did he just say?
Up the.
Is that like in Shada?
Yeah.
Okay.
Our mascot was a bear. I don't know.
It's a bear.
Yeah.
It was. It still is, I guess.
Right, but yeah. Well,
what kind of bear is it?
Like a like a grizzly bear.
Well, it could be a koala
or like
bear.
a black bear.
Oh, what's that?
Or a black bear.
One of
the big ones. One of the bigger bears out there. Yeah.
Oh.
Okay.
Didn't you go there for 4 years?
Yeah.
You don't know what kind of bear.
What kind of bear it is? They just have a bear. It's a bear.
Oh, there's a lot of different types of bears.
No, I know that. It's a black bear. It's a regular bear.
Black
like one of the normal bears that you would see.
It's not a grizzly.
No. Maybe. I don't know. God, just let me move on. Jazz Chisholm Jr. Oh, speaking of the Yankees, leading off the 8th inning, and the Yankees defeated the Guardians 3-2 to secure a series win and taking the first 2 of a 3-game set. Up next from lefty Carlos Rodon gets a start in this afternoon series finale against the Guardians. First pitch from Cleveland scheduled for 1:10 in Queens. Mets got shut out 7-0 by the Cardinals in the opener of a 3-game set against St. Louis. Up next for them, Austin Warren will get the start as an opener in the middle game of this 3-game set tonight. First pitch from Citi Field, 7:10 p.m. And your Stanley Cup final picked up last night as well with Game 4. It was the Hurricanes over the Golden Knights, 5-3, knotting that series at 2 games apiece. That is your sports, sponsored by Pete Morgan and Peerless Boilers. Go to peerlessboilers.com to find a deal near you. Peerless Boilers, the world's best built boilers. I'm Justin Ellick on 77 WABC.
Sid and Friends in the morning on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
When President Trump came out and said, that's it, I'm lighting these guys up, right? You're not talking about killing civilians, but he was going to blow up power plants and bridges. You guys remember all this? How excited I was? I even tweeted from Pico Restaurant, a nearby Mexican place, which Lou loves, and MJ. An hour before, I said, oh, my God, I'm getting a bad feeling that President Trump is not going to do it. You remember all this, no?
I remember it well.
And as much as I love President Trump and adore President Trump, I went after him pretty good that next day, that Wednesday morning, for not doing what he said he was going to do. Now, I'm a sycophant. There's lots of sycophants at this station, okay? That's the bottom line. Let's be honest, okay? And they keep saying, no, he's got it, and the prices are going to go down, and all this is going to be great. I hear 3 or 4 different hosts saying that. And I've never gotten there, have I, guys? Honestly, have I?
No.
I keep bringing up the same questions over and over again. How? When? Why? KT McFarland, when? Rich Lowry, when? How? So he decides that Trump, I'm giving you another 10 days. And look, he has tried. He tried before Operation Epic Fury, those months in between Midnight Hammer and Epic Fury. He tried to give the Iranians some type of deal to negotiate without blowing up stuff and hurting people. But I've been saying it, and I think I'm the only one, for months here. It ain't going to happen. Said it time and time again. The three things that we want, it ain't going to happen. It's not happening. They are not going to give up their enriched uranium. They're not doing it. They're not doing it. It doesn't matter what we threaten them with. They don't care. This is so silly at this point. 2 months ago, I said Trump light them up. Now you got no choice. Now what's your choice? Go home? You can't do that. Now you got no choice. He didn't do it then. He didn't do it weeks after that. Keeps waiting and waiting. So now I keep hearing, well, no, what he's doing is, this is really, really smart, is he's strangling them financially. Scott Besson tells us that they're broke, they're poor. They don't care. The regime is not broke. They're not poor, and they don't care about the civilians. If we go back to striking them 400 times a day and civilians die, we're going to care more about Iranian civilian losses than they will. They don't care. So the president puts out this Truth Social moments ago. Iran's military is a complete and total mess. Okay, I've been hearing that for months. The Navy's at the bottom of the sea, blah, blah, blah. Much of it, here he goes, like their Navy and Air Force, doesn't even exist anymore. They've been completely defeated. Iran is all talk and no action. All talk and no action? No, did you not report on the news today that they sent missiles to Bahrain and Jordan and Kuwait?
They did.
And are they still fighting back and forth? Hezbollah, their terror proxy with Israel in Lebanon?
They are, yeah.
Okay. So he says the bully of the Middle East is dead. Really? Then let's go home. If the bully of the Middle East is dead and we won, let's go home. They've taken too long to negotiate a deal. Wait a second. Why do you need a deal? President, I love you. Trump, I love you. Yeah, but come on. I'm not stupid. I love you, but I'm not stupid. If the Middle East bully is dead, why do we need to negotiate a deal? Explain that to me, Noam.
We wouldn't have to.
Right. They've taken too long to negotiate a deal that would have been great for them. Now they will have to, quote, pay the price. I'm tired of that, too. I love Trump, and I know he's not afraid to do it. But how many times are you going to say it? Over and over. Heard the same thing about Hamas, too, in Gaza forever, right? Oh, they're going to have the ultimate price to pay. He loves saying that stuff. He loves saying it. Now, he got the job done in Gaza, God bless him. Every terrorist, alive or dead, home, thanks to President Trump, certainly not Joe Biden or Kamala Harris. So he did what he had to do in Gaza. But this isn't working in Iran. It's not working. What is the definition of insanity? Do the same thing over and over again and expect different results. These people don't care. They're not dead. I've had Takapina on this show. I've talked to other people, Pentagon people that'll tell you, what's the word I keep using, guys? What's the word I keep using, which KT McFarland hates for the last month and a half? What's the word, Noam?
I don't know.
Stuck. Have I not used that word stuck 100 times?
Mm-hmm.
It was stuck. It was stuck. So we keep telling everybody, well, we're just strangling them financially and they can't, they're about to just give it all up, and they're not giving up anything. They will wait this thing out forever, and it'll destroy us in the midterms. It will. Don't you worry, man. The gas price is going to come tumbling down. When? We're into June now, okay? Now we're into June. Iran will wait as long as they can. They don't care. They'd love to screw President Trump's party in this next election. So when are we going to have an honest conversation? I was all for Operation Epic Fury. I was all for going into Iran. I'm all for making sure they don't build a nuclear weapon and they're on the way to building 11. I'm all for all of that. But what I'm yet to find out from anybody, and a lot of guys come on this show, a lot of smart guys. What I'm yet to find out from anybody is what was our exit strategy. Because when you do something like this, you've got the enter. Now we're going to bomb them on a Saturday morning. Then you've got the exit. What has been our exit strategy? It doesn't exist. There's your answer. And now we're reaching all over the place. And now I saw some guy in Montgomery on Fox News this morning, and he said we are moments away from going back to striking Iran 400 times a day. Right where we were a couple of months ago. And guess what that means? Israel's in trouble again. Apartment buildings in Tel Aviv will get blown up. Innocent civilians will die in Israel. Innocent civilians will die in Iran. Stop telling me about Scott Bessent and oil prices. Stop it. I love Trump just as much as you do, if not more. But this is a mess. This is a mess. I know why he did it. I would have done the same thing. He's got courage. Every other president promised to do it. He actually did it. But whoever put this thing together, man, two things. How about an exit strategy? And B, they underestimated the will of Iran. They may be dead financially. They may have no navy. All those things may be true. But I will tell you that we are lying about their weaponry. We are lying. We've been lying for weeks. They've got more than our government tells you. Hegseth, lying. I'm saying it. And they're not going to stop. They're not going to quit. They will take whatever beating they have to take to make this thing last as long as possible. Is there anything inaccurate, Noam, in what I just said?
No. I mean, when you do these war games before you start a war, you're supposed to figure everything out, which includes how is the enemy going to respond. And they seem to be surprised by how the enemy is responding.
I don't get it. Yeah. They got 90 million people. It's a big country. They've got plenty of weaponry. If you think the Chinese and the Russians, maybe even North Korea, I don't know, aren't still helping these people, you're somewhere between naive and stupid and closer to the latter. They're not quitting. So now, just do it. Stop telling the world about this price they're going to pay and just do it. We've got no choice. We look silly. And I said the same thing for how many weeks now? How many weeks? Dating back to that Tuesday night almost 2 months ago. Oh, no, but Sid, you don't get it. You see, what you don't know is, first of all, you're not in the meetings every day. What does that mean? What the hell does that mean? Well, you're not privy to all the information. Okay, great. And Bessent, and we're strangling them. It's not working. So light them up. Just end this thing. Go in there, blow up every power plant, blow up all their oil fields, blow up their bridges. Just do it. We don't have a choice at this point. And if we and you know what? If we don't have to do that, then the president should stop saying it. Just continue to strangle them financially, do whatever we're doing, which some of the know-it-alls seems to think it's working. It's not. And just shut up. But he's not. He continues to threaten them with military power. Why? Because it's going to result in that. And it should have been that 2 months ago. No one's going to give President Trump an award for being a nice guy. Where do nice guys finish? Last. He's nice. Iran's not. Great. He tried. He gave him an off-ramp. He's given him every opportunity. Great. They're sitting there laughing. Seriously. There's a bunch of Iranians right now on a circle jerk somewhere in some mountain somewhere in Tehran, laughing their asses off. Just do it. Do it. John Solomon, he's next.
Sid and Friends in the morning on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
You'll have mobs of these idiots. And like I've been saying for weeks, man, these people at these watch parties that are beating up cops and morons, half-naked ladies dancing on cop cars and ambulances, they're not Knicks fans. I don't care what Stephen A. Smith says. Not watching the Knicks and the Trailblazers in November like I'm doing, or the Knicks and the Grizzlies in February. They're not. They're a bunch of rebel-rousers. They know it's a big deal. They know the city's involved in a big deal, and they just want to go out there and wreak havoc because that's what this mayor likes. He likes chaos, violence. That's what this mayor likes. So tonight you got Game 4 with a watch party right outside Madison Square Garden, even though I begged the mayor not to do it, which, of course, is the reason why he's going to do it, because he hates me. The last 2 watch parties, dozens of arrests. Dozens. We're embarrassing ourselves. Like I've been saying for days, New York is now L.A. and Detroit, and now we start World Cup soccer. Starts tomorrow. Well, what do you got, 8 games out at Giant Stadium? I still call it Giant Stadium. I think it's called MetLife, but F the Jets. Out at Giant Stadium, 8 games, and then eventually this moron, again, the mayor wants to put 50,000 people in Central Park on July the 19th to watch the finals. He's got to be the dumbest son of a bitch that God ever created. I just don't understand. I know I say it all the time. I'm like a broken record. But he's got to be the dumbest son of a bitch that God ever created. Besides the fact that he's hateful. Now, the complete antithesis is the man that was my governor when I lived in Florida, was 15 years, and is now a great senator from the state of Florida. My good buddy, Rick Scott. Rick, good morning, buddy. How are you?
Am I going to get you back?
I don't know.
Coming home?
It's getting close, Rick. I swear to God. I mean, I'm about to sign a new deal here.
Yeah.
If God forbid that falls through, then it's not inconceivable, Rick, that you and I are going house hunting in Boca next week.
I mean, don't you feel? I mean, I feel sorry for New Yorkers. You know, they would. There's just people that just want to get up every day, go to work, raise their kids, enjoy their life. You know, and they got this mayor that wants chaos. He likes crime. He hates Jews. You know, he wants division. He hates rich people. So I mean, we all want to live the American dream. I mean, I wouldn't build people up. I'm going to build up people like Ken Griffin and Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos. I don't want to tear them down. I mean, how many people wake up and say, you know what? You know, I'm interested in public housing. Yeah, I want the food stamp program. I tell people I lived in public housing. I don't want that. I want to live this dream. And this guy wants to kill the dream of this country. And you know, our parents brought us up, rich or poor, right, and said, you know, go work your butt off. You have every chance. This is your life. You can be anything you want in this country. And this guy Mandami, no, it's your fault if you're not doing well. And if you make too much money, and we're going to take it away from you, we're going to destroy you. It's crazy.
Crazy. So you know that I did sports talk radio on not one, not two, Rick, but 3 different stations in South Florida, 560 WQAM. I was there with late, great Neil Rogers, late, great Jim Mandich, Hank Goldberg, all those great guys, 790 the ticket. And I was there when LeBron James told the world he was taking his talents to South Beach. And I had to sit there in Pat Riley's arena because I'm a friend of Pat for years. And I didn't wear a white T-shirt. And I had to watch James and Wade and Bosch and all these ex-New Yorkers, Rick Scott, all of them that came from Brooklyn, Long Island, all over, now wearing white T-shirts and hating on my Knicks. I have to imagine that the Miami Heat faithful down there, even though, again, the former New Yorkers hate the fact that the Knicks are in the NBA Finals. Is that a fair assumption?
Yeah. And, you know, I always, you know, you always want your home team to win, but I just like the competition. I mean, I just think, you know, I hope this series goes to the last shot, personally. I know if you're a Knicks fan, you want it to end as soon as you can.
Yeah.
But the truth is, as a fan, you want it to go down to the last shot.
Yeah.
The last game, the last shot, who takes it, who struggles to make it. That's what's fun about sports.
Yes, and the fact that we used to all get along when it came to sports, but that's changed just a little bit. So I saw this great documentary last night, Rick Scott, in Tribeca. My friend Michael Rapaport, the great actor, the great comedian, he's got a new 93-minute documentary out. It's called Am I Canceled Yet? And he talks about how because he was so loud and proud about his support for Israel and the Jews, that he can't get acting gigs. He hasn't been in a movie in 2 years, and that's really the base of the movie. But in the movie, he mentions Kanye West, and I know that you, Rick Scott, you've got an issue with Kanye.
Well, first off, the guy supports Hitler. He's proud of Hitler. He sells the merchandise with swastikas. He hates Jews. He's anti-Semitic. Right? There's countries that won't let him perform in their countries. In my state, in Tampa, at a public venue, right, they're going to allow this guy to have 2 concerts. I mean, it's wrong. I mean, it's a slap in the face of our Jewish population in Tampa, in our state. It's spewing hate. Right? So you're taking people's let's say you're taking a Jewish person in Tampa, so you're taking their tax dollars to support an institution that brings somebody in to attack you. Wait a minute here. Does that sound logical? No, it's wrong.
Yeah.
So I want them to cancel it. They should cancel it. They should never have let
I
this
agree.
guy come in.
I thought that Kanye, though, woke up one morning. It was actually hilarious. He's such a moron because he was doing all this really nasty Jewish talk and anti-Semitic, and he woke up one morning and he said, I'm not an anti-Semite anymore. That's it. I'm done. I've moved on.
Yeah.
He's such a moron.
What do you think? If somebody does all this stuff, by the way, he's still selling merchandise with swastikas.
Oh, he is? Okay. There you go. There's the answer. So you're doing something, Rick, and I couldn't love you more than I do already, but I'm very proud of you, Rick Scott. The Stop Support for UNRWA Act, I know you're working on that. Where are we in that process?
Well, I'm going to get it passed. I mean, think about it. The UN has their employees paid by American taxpayers that are going out and supporting Hamas to kill Americans, because Americans died over there October 7th when the Hamas attacked in Israel. We got Americans. So our tax dollars are going to support an organization that gives money to people to support Hamas to kill Americans. Wait a minute. Does this make sense to you? No.
No, doesn't make any sense. Spencer Pratt was in second with a big lead over Nithian Rahman. Steve Hilton was in first with a sizable lead over Becerra. Now, thank God Hilton still makes it. He's not going to beat Becerra in November. They'll never vote in a Republican. It's been since Schwarzenegger 20 years ago, but at least he made it. Pratt goes from easy second to a distant third. So it's a simple question, Rick Scott. That jungle primary in California, did they cheat?
Well, did you see the stuff they're putting out? First off, there's a lot of videos now about people on Skid Row being paid $2 to $5 for their votes. You see all this stuff?
Yep.
And they don't require ID, right? So and then how can you not count the votes? How can it take days and days to count the votes? You know why? Because they if they're not allowing fraud, right? If they're not allowing fraud, they're sure giving the appearance they're allowing fraud. And so it's like in what you should do if you're elected, say, look, I want to be transparent and I want to make sure you feel comfortable that nobody's being mistreated. Guess what? In California, they said, no, go to hell. We don't care what you think. We want to make sure only Democrats win. That's basically their attitude.
Well, basically, and then, Trump had that great moment with Kristen Welker, courtesy of NBC Meet the Press on Sunday when he walked off, and she said, listen, this is the way the elections operate. There's no fraud. There's no cheating. You knew going in it was going to take a couple of days because of the mail-in ballots. It takes a lot of days to count them. So she talked about the procedure. She said there's no proof. You keep talking about fraud from the 2020 presidential election to California last week. She's like, where is your proof? And President Trump said, come on, don't be stupid, Kristen. He eventually walked off, but that is their argument. Where's our proof?
Well, I mean, we got videos. We got videos of people saying they got paid. Right? We know that we've got dead people on the voter rolls. There's people in California, they just mail out ballots. Hey, you want to vote? Come on in. We don't care. Oh, you have to be here legally. And by the way, this is the same reporter that Diaz-Canal, who, in Cuba, she said it was an honor, such an honor to talk to you. Yeah. Wait a minute. That guy, puts people in prison because they complain they don't have electricity.
Yeah.
And it's an honor.
Yeah, no, she's an idiot.
The President of the United States, who's out there trying to defend us every day, she just attacks the guy.
No, he was great. I thought he was great. I would have walked off the set, too. In fact, I wouldn't do those interviews anymore. I got to give him credit. This is the amazing Florida Senator, my friend Rick Scott. Save America Act. I can't believe we're still having this conversation. Where are we?
How hard is it? I mean, 80% of Americans want voter ID, right? Be an American citizen, vote. You know what it is? Republicans, Democrats, Independent want it, right? You know who doesn't want it? Elected Democrats, because guess what? They want the fraud. They want to allow you to be able to harvest ballots. Oh, go down to Skid Row and pay the $2 to $5. They don't want you to have to show an ID. You have to show an ID for everything else, but voting, no, that would be the worst thing in the world. That would be so unfair. So is it unfair to have to get on an airplane? You have to show an ID or a bank account?
Right.
Oh, but voting, that's what really going to hurt people. So it's for fraud. The Democrats are blocking it because they want fraud. It's as simple as, if you don't support voter ID, if you don't support requiring proof of citizenship to register to vote, you support fraud. It's as simple as that. That's what these Democrats are doing. They support fraud.
Fraud's such a nice word. They're cheaters. That's what they are. Let me give you the last sentence of Trump's last Truth Social. I know you got to run here, Rick. They've taken too long to negotiate a deal that would have been great for them. Now they will have to pay the price. Look, I love Trump. But I've been critical of the president because I thought that Tuesday night 2 months ago, he should have lit that place up. It's enough. It's enough. They're not going to negotiate. They have no desire to do it. It's time to blow the doors off.
I agree with you. They're not going to come to their senses anytime soon. And so, they're crazy.
That's it, right? That's the bottom line. Rick, I'm going to be down in Florida next month, so I'm going to call you, okay?
Okay, give me a call. I'd love to see you.
Me too. Great job this morning, Rick Scott. Thank you so much, my friend.
Hi, Sid. Bye-bye.
Take care. There he is, the amazing senator from Florida. Again, he was the governor when I lived there those 16 years in Boca. When I left, Ron DeSantis became governor. But now Rick is an amazing senator. Rick Scott out of the great state of Florida. We moved John Solomon now to the 8:30 slot. So you'll get John Solomon and Peter King and Scott Lebedo. So some great guests still to come. And, I do want to play this, though. What the Jon Stewart piece. Because we talked about Kristen Welker just now, me and Rick Scott. And first, Stewart, of course, made fun of me after that Monday night appearance. No, Sunday night. I was on the night of the Super Bowl. And right after the game I was on, and I was very critical of the Bad Bunny choice. The moron didn't speak any English at all. And if you're Latino, that's great, but if you're not, and most of us are not, we didn't understand one word that guy said. Not one word. It was idiotic. It was really disrespectful on the 250th anniversary of our country. But, hey, he's got a lot of fans, and I became the bad guy for saying it. So Jon Stewart, you may remember, on Comedy Central, went off on me. But he didn't talk about the fact that I was upset that the halftime show at a big American event didn't speak English. No, instead, he does what everybody's doing these days, because he's pale. He made fun of my tan. The Jewish Thanos, that's everywhere these days. I get complimented. I was in a theater last night. Every single person walked over and said, man, you look great. That is a great tan. But not Jon Stewart. Let's take you back to that Monday night after the Super Bowl, when he went off on me because really he was mad about my Bad Bunny comments. But he couldn't really argue, so instead, he talked about my tan. This is cut number 10.
For a significant portion of Americans, everything that happens must uniformly be filtered through a particular MAGA-centric worldview and judged on how well it conforms to that traditional vision, which doesn't include knowing where the biblioteca is.
To get up there and perform the whole show in Spanish is a middle finger to the rest of America.
The majority of people in the audience had no idea what was being said.
Is it too much to ask to put it in English?
Not one word of English?
Yeah.
Not one word of English? One word!
Here's some English for you. Who put Thanos over here in the air fryer? Did Fox decide they needed an actual buffalo wing to comment on the game? Dude, seriously, we all like to get sun, but I mean, I'm no dermatologist, but be there tomorrow morning as early as you can be there. It's like the guy's couch is one of those chicken rotisseries. He's watching the game like, tell me if I miss anything. I've got like 10 of these. Seriously, how many glizzies do you gobble before you become one?
All right. So John and I had a very friendly email conversation. Afterwards, he was very nice. I was nice. Chalk it up to having some fun. I couldn't care less. But I'm in good company because now, that was me back right after the Super Bowl. Now he went after one of his own. It's one thing for Jon Stewart to come after MAGA Sid Rosenberg. Now he goes after one of his own on Comedy Central last night. The lady that we just discussed, Rick Scott and I, Kristen Welker. NBC, Meet the Press. Welker in the crosshairs of Jon Stewart. Cut number 11.
This is where Kristen Welker nearly undoes all of the good work she did with one of the worst pleas in the history of journalism.
Mr. President, let's please, I traveled all the way to Wisconsin.
You can't leave, sir. I was in business class. Business. Mr. President, please, Wisconsin, Wheel of Fortune is on an hour earlier here. These people are savages. Their Chinese restaurants only serve Szechuan. No Cantonese to be found. We'll all die of consumption. But you know what? Maybe finally this moment will give journalists permission to not back down, to not just leave it there and move on, and to finally be honest about Trump's inability to be challenged in the moment.
I spoke with President Trump on Saturday, and we both acknowledged the complications during the interview posed by the rain.
Yeah, what? You were inside! There was no challenge from the rain? That. No! The point is, he wasn't aggravated by the rain. Donald Trump didn't storm out because of the rain. He stormed out because he was challenged, not because he was distracted. So maybe it's time we stop making excuses for that man in order to preserve access to his constant bullshit.
He agreed to sit down with me for another Meet the Press interview.
Thank you. There you go.
All right, thank you. That's
And
Jon
what are the-
Stewart. All right, shut up, God. So there he is, Jon Stewart, playing it fair, going after MAGA Sid Rosenberg, but then going after one of his own, Kristen Welker from Meet the Press. All right, we'll take a break, Lou. Again, we got 3, maybe 4 great guests still to come. It's a Wednesday morning. It is Sid and Friends in the morning.
Sid and Friends in the morning on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
There are rumors. They're only rumors. I'm not buying them because I think everybody hates me. I do. Except for the millions that don't. But there are rumors that I'll be making the New York Hall of Fame this year. We'll see.
Really? When is that? When do they vote?
Next week.
Oh.
That's what I'm hearing.
So we have to stuff the ballots starting now, no?
Yeah, we need to cheat. But Bill Evans, I believe, has a vote. He made it last year. I would like to see Tim McCarthy also make the New York Hall of Fame. He deserves to be in there. He's one of the great, programmers.
Right?
Yeah.
Where is this Hall of Fame? Like, if I wanted to go visit it?
Yeah, I don't know.
Oh.
But McCarthy should be in. Joe Beningo should be in. And I'm like Pete Rose. If I'm not in the Hall of Fame, the Hall of Fame shouldn't exist. I'm serious. I mean, who else? There's nobody else, in fact, in the history of New York radio. Alan Snippen, write this down, dickface. Including I Miss Stern. There's nobody in the history of New York radio that has been on air at WFAN, WABC, WNEW, and 1010 Wins. Nobody. I'm the only person to do it. I'm also, as far as I know, the only person in New York radio history to get big ratings in sports and news talk. Influential relationships with the President of the United States, prime ministers in the Middle East. I mean, if I'm not in the Hall of Fame, it shouldn't exist. But there's a lot of bias against me because I've got years of personal issues and I said some things that pissed off a lot of people, which I apologize for, was fired for. So there'll be some that'll vote against me, even though, again, based on just credentials, no one has ever done what I've done. Ever. No one. Not Grant, not Imus, not Stern, no one. Can you argue that?
Well, I got a question for you. So the way this works is these are the nominations, and then people vote on the nominations?
I believe so.
Okay.
I'm not even sure. I got to call my friend Olivera.
So, because there's nobody nominated yet, you'd have to be nominated.
No, I believe they've already got the nominations.
Oh, so how do you get in
Where
there?
are they? Where are the nominations?
Well, I don't believe they've been made available to the public. I don't know how it works. It's a lot of pressure. I'm begging. I'm trying to stop the Iran war, please.
Okay, well, sorry.
How much can I
Sorry for
possibly do?
questions. Geez, yeah, I know. There's a war going on.
Yeah.
We
Believe me when I tell you, I'm waiting for that phone to ring. It's like Harry Carson. He wanted to make the Football Hall of Fame so bad that he started lying. He said, I don't care. And then when he got in, they called him. They said, you made the Hall of Fame. He started to cry, and they go, oh, my God, sorry, wrong guy. That's a true story.
Is that really?
He was on a golf course in Hawaii. They made a mistake.
Oh, no.
He did get in years later. By the way, that great Harry Carson and Lawrence Taylor were both at the Giants practice yesterday. And the Giants' new head coach, John Harbaugh, was like a young teenage girl watching Taylor Swift. He was, wow. LT Carson, wow. But I'm waiting for the phone call.
Who made that call, Sam? Steve Harvey?
I don't know. That's funny.
You got to be kidding.
I know.
Somebody
That's terrible.
calls Harry Carson.
I know.
And it was
sorry.
And it was inaccurate.
It was inaccurate. He got in it was like 5 years after that. Well, I'm here to tell you that I want to get in. I deserve to get in. Boomer Esiason made the National Hall of Fame. And Boomer's a smart guy, safe, gets good ratings, does sports, doesn't ruffle any feathers. He thought he made a big deal about Abdul Carter. Boomer, go check the tape. 2 days before that, I was all over Abdul Carter. I was actually sitting there in the audience when Jackson Dart introduced President Trump. President Trump actually called me on stage. So Boomer did nothing that I hadn't done 2 days prior. He's a safe guy. He's vanilla, talk sports. Boring.
Yeah, really? Oh, my God.
Boring. But he made the National Hall of Fame, which is even bigger than New York. But New York has no excuse. If I don't get in this year, clearly, like Trump, there's a Sid bias. There's no other explanation. But I'm asking about the weather because I'm considering coming into the city tonight with my son Gabriel and his little friend Led. He's still here from Boca, literally 6'3", but they're friends since they're 4 years old, and going to beat up a bunch of people at these watch parties.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Sounds like a good time to me.
Really, it does.
So what's the weather tonight?
It is going to be cloudy, and there's about a 40% chance of rain.
What does that mean?
It means there could be a thunderstorm because it's kind of humid today. Could break out at any time.
But then there's a 60% chance it's not going to rain.
That's right.
Wow,
So you could play the
Thank you very much.
Very good. No wonder you're nominated.
Yeah, exactly.
That is tremendous. Wow.
Sid and Friends in the morning on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
So this is after Game 3. The Knicks lose to the Spurs. The Knicks play a crappy game. They scored 6 points. They were down 10 in the first 4 minutes. The refs screwed them too. Brunson took 32 shots to score 25 points. They were just bad. Wembanyama was better. Wemby. So this was Stephen A. Smith, who was on this show 3 days ago. Stephen A. Smith, after the game, he had warned us before the game on my show, right here, a couple days ago, that Trump coming to the Garden may cost the Knicks the game that night. And I said, that's ridiculous. And he hasn't stopped. After the game, Stephen A. Smith, Lewis, cut number 12.
I don't want to talk about it. I told y'all Trump would mess everything up. It's his fault. Yeah, Jalen Brunson then passed the ball. He shot twice as much as everybody else. OG Anunoby had 28 points and 13 shots. Jalen Brunson had 32 points and 25 shots. It was like he was trying to win MVP. It's not how they played the first 2 games. But it's all about Trump. Trump ruined this. President Donald Trump showed up here and disrupted the vibe, disrupted the momentum, disrupted everything. And the New York Knicks faltered because of it. It's all his fault. That's all I have to say.
No, I love Stephen A. I love him. He's on this show a lot. He texted me yesterday. But he sounds ridiculous. He's not alone. Spike Lee, the same nonsense, and Max Kellerman. Those guys hate Trump. Stephen A. Smith comes on. He says, this is not about politics. But he's not exactly a MAGA guy either. He's not as bad as Kellerman and Spike Lee. But the truth is, anyone who has said the last couple of days that Trump is the reason why the Knicks have lost are not Trump guys.
You know,
not one.
If he's got that power,
right?
If he could do that,
yeah.
Why doesn't he just walk over to the Middle East, disrupt the vibes there,
right,
and it's over?
And fix the Iran war. Exactly.
No,
I mean, it's so ridiculous. And again, if I heard one real Trump supporter say that, then I'd have more fun with it. But Stephen A., while not as bad as Kellerman or Spike Lee, is anything but a Trump supporter. So the truth is they're all lying. They don't like Trump, and it's nonsense. So I get a text moments ago from the aforementioned Stephen A. Smith. And what do you think he texted me? He texted me, want to take a guess?
I did not tell you what was going to happen.
No.
Now don't play that, Sid.
Right.
Don't play that, Sid.
Don't be stupid.
Don't be playing that with me.
He sent me a photo of a Truth Social that President Trump put out this morning. Have you guys heard about this? Here's what it reads from Donald J. Trump this morning. Stephen A. Smith is an arrogant fool, a low IQ individual. He was much nicer.
Yeah, the other day.
Kennedy Airport tarmac after the game. He said, he's not that bright, but now he kills him. He goes, Stephen A. Smith is an arrogant fool, a low IQ individual. In other words, he's, ready for this? Dumb as a rock. That's what President Trump said about Stephen A. Smith, and totally unqualified to ever think of running for high political office or even low political office, for that matter. He'd get annihilated in a debate by the most incompetent of politicians. Joe Biden's now fabled performance would look great by comparison to anything that this loudmouth... Yeah. This loudmouth hustler has to offer, which isn't much. Within a few weeks, they'd laugh him out of politics. So Trump tried to be nice at the airport, but I guess now he's not being so nice. So who sends me that? Steve. And I go, Steve, here's the good news. He's talking about you. That's all you wanted.
Right.
Why do you think Stephen A. Smith did all this? He's no dummy. There's a reason why he gets upwards of $15 million a year, whatever it is at ESPN. He said, yep, Sid, I'm good. Knicks had better win this damn series. So I said, if they don't, are you really going to blame Trump? Crickets. No answer yet. So.
I'll just say this about that. This is my team. This is my team. This is New York. You don't play around with that. You do not play around with the vibe, Sid. Now, don't you be going there.
Yeah.
No, you don't be going there.
No.
They were up 2-0. Let's do the arithmetic now, right here. 2-0. He comes. What is it now?
Sid and Friends in the morning on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
Wasn't the jihadist in attendance Monday night? I can make a better argument. It's Mamdani, not Trump, Mr. Stephen A. Smith. Right? I mean, the mayor went to the game, too, on Monday. He'll be there tonight with a bunch of smile. Who are those people? Who are those people? That young girl, who is that, who's smiling with Mamdani at Madison Square Garden? Her parents want to kill her, I'm sure. Who are these people? Can somebody find out for me? Let me talk to John Solomon. John, let me read this to you. This is Trump's Truth Social. It's on Fox News the last hour. I've talked about it with guests as well. Iran's military is a complete and total mess, blah, blah, blah. Much of it, like their Navy and Air Force, doesn't even exist. I don't care. They've been completely defeated. No, they haven't. Iran is all talk and no action. That's not true. The bully of the Middle East is dead. Not true either. They've taken too long to negotiate a deal that would have been great for them. Now they'll have to pay the price. John, nobody loves this guy more than me. Nobody. I adore him. And I think the feeling is mutual with me and Trump. But this is nonsense. You've been on this show a bunch of times now. And I go back to that Tuesday night 6 weeks ago where Trump promised to light up the sky. And they didn't do it. He said, we'll give him a little more time. I don't want to hear about Scott Bessent. I don't care. I don't want to hear about how we're strangling them financially. I don't care because they don't care. Their people can die of starvation. They don't care. It is time for President Trump to do what he's been threatening to do time and time again and finally just finish these guys off. John Solomon, your thoughts.
I think he's finally hit that button. I think last night the proportional attack was a warm-up to something much larger. And I think the proportional attack was designed to see, hey, Iran, are you going to take this one or are you going to respond? They responded a little bit this morning. They don't have a lot to respond with, but they still have menacing weapons. I think Trump is going to unleash hell on them over the next several days. And really, I think what the assessment is inside the Trump administration is that the civilian leadership probably would make a deal, but the IRGC simply won't. So I wouldn't be surprised if he thinned out the IRGC by tens of thousands. I think you'll see some massive hits on IRGC compounds. Some of these cowards, these IRGC cowards, they've moved up to the Afghan border so they can go flee and go hang out with the Taliban when they get roosted from their country. I think Trump knows where they are. I think he hits them hard over the next several days and thins out the primary opposition to making a deal right now. The intelligence that we get from my reporting is that the civilian leadership seems to want to make a deal, rhetoric aside. They're making constructive offers, but the IRGC just continues to attack. And I think Donald Trump's going to show them, you think you got something left? Take this. And I think you may see some non-conventional warfare. You may see some space-based laser weapons deployed for the first time. But if I'm an IRGC commander, I think your next 4 or 5 days could be pretty ugly, assuming the president hits the go button. And I think this morning's announcement is a pretty clear thing that the president's patience is over, and now fury is about to follow.
Is it fair to assume, though, John, and I know President Trump is a good guy. He's got a big heart. He doesn't want to kill anybody. He really doesn't. Now, Soleimani's a different story, obviously, but isn't it fair to assume, though, that if he does what you're talking about, which I want him to do, I want him to do it, that there will be some pretty meaningful Iranian civilian deaths over the next couple of days?
There could be. A lot of the IRGC are in fortified bunkers away from the city. It's hard to build a fortified bunker in the city because you got, transit and roads that go over it. So a lot of the IRGC are they're not stashed in civilian areas. We've got plenty of smart bombs that are pretty good precision, but I think the IRGC are in these deep compounds way below the earth in an area far from the urban area so that you can literally get down and be bunkered. And even our bunker busters will have a hard time getting through on the first rounds. You may have to make 2 or 3 bunker buster rounds to really collapse them in. But I think that's where they are. The original strikes, when you go back to February, those are precision strikes right in downtown Tehran in some cases. A lot of the IRGC masses, the 10, 20,000 groups of battalions, they're out in fortified bunkers away from the civilian leadership right now because that's the only way you can build something that deep and strong. And so I think civilian casualties may be a little less. I mean, there are always civilian casualties in a war. It's the cost of war, sadly, and I know the president doesn't want any. But I think you're going to see some pretty significant strikes that go at the large and mass group. If you can thin out the IRGC, I think the current thinking in the CIA is that thinning them out could potentially lead to a deal. We'll see. If not, they'll just go all the way and conquer this entire regime until the people can overtake the country. I do think the president's moving in that direction.
You should. And I've got buddies they're in the Pentagon. They're there. Yeah. And they've been telling me that these bunker buster bombs, and John, you are clearly brilliant. I love you. I am so impressed that these bunker buster bombs will not get the job done every time.
That's right.
And it's just a matter of time. We're going to have to put boots on the ground, send our kids in there to get to some of these people, even the uranium at some point. What are the odds of that now?
Yeah. Well, I think one of the things that's why I mentioned the space-based laser weapons. You can hit a compound and expose it with a bunker buster bomb, and then you can drop some laser in there to really penetrate. Then you can drop another bunker buster bomb. I think you might see some new warfare, unlike anything that America has ever unleashed. And I think, we'll see. We'll see if they put that together. But the combination of space laser weapons, bunker busters, and then returning to bunker busters could collapse these or melt these compounds down to a point where no one can survive inside. And I do think that that's probably what we're looking at. I think last night there were some pretty precision strikes that caused some pretty big casualties. I'm hearing that some of the IRGC commanders were killed yesterday. That's a good thing for our American perspective. But I think you're right. They're hunkered down. They think they're hunkered down, but they've never faced weaponry that America has held in reserve for a long time. So I think it's possible the president could deploy some new types of weapons, some new types of strategies. I don't think we'll see boots on the ground immediately. But I wouldn't be surprised if we thinned out the IRGC, that a special operations team went in and got that uranium. It's about a 4 to 5 day mission, so you're going to have to hold the ground, and that's why I think thinning out the IRGC and its military there. One of the things that we've heard is that some of the traditional military people are leaving now. and some of the IRGC support staff are leaving because they literally can't feed their families. So there are defections going on right now, which is a sign that the economic pressure has had some impact. And but at the same time, I think there's no other way than to, from the people I talk to, it is going to be a very hard-hit military that's going to be required to make a significant impact on these peace negotiations. I don't see boots on the ground in a large way. I do think some surgical boots at some point, surgical strikes with our Navy SEALs and Special Forces probably likely.
400 to 500 strikes a day we may see. So, John, I don't know if you know this, but I am, I've been invited to speak at the second annual JNS.org International Policy Summit. It's a 3-day event. We did it last year. Yeah, it's beautiful. Waldorf Astoria in Jerusalem. It starts off Sunday night with Bibi and Huckabee, and then Tuesday night's the last night of speakers. It's me. It's Mark Levin. It's a huge honor. I did it last year. I'm doing it again this year, but I am set to go, my 5th trip back to Israel since 2023. I'm set to go a week from tomorrow. But if President Trump does what you and I both think he's going to do, is it fair to assume that my trip to Israel next week may be postponed?
I think that's a possibility because Israel will be the natural recipient of any Iranian aggression that's left. The Iranians really can't reach anything far now. Their long-range missiles and mid-range missiles are pretty well.
By the way, I'm glad you said that. That's why when people get mad at Bibi, like I always say on the air, John, Cincinnati's not in danger. Brooklyn and Oregon is not in danger. We piss off the Iranians, and people are going to die in Tel Aviv tomorrow.
That's right. That's exactly and that's all that the Iranians have left. I think there is in this pause, and I think one of the things that maybe wasn't put into the equation on this pause is that we needed to resupply our missile batteries. We went through an awful lot of defensive missiles protecting all of our allies in the region. So the pause may have had less to do with Donald Trump being patient with Iran. I don't think he's ever really thought that Iran was a good actor. It may have been to give our defense establishment the ability to get another 10,000 Patriot missiles and Tomahawk missiles resupplied for round 2. I don't think that gets mentioned enough, but you saw those classified leaks a couple of weeks ago that we were a little depleted. My reporting indicates that's true. I think we're resupplied now in a good way. And so some of the possum here may have been less about tolerating Iran's bad behavior and more about allowing our defense establishment to recalibrate our weaponry so that in a second round we could protect everybody from Israel to Qatar and UAE and all of our allies that are now fully aligned with us. And so I think that may have been a part of the calculus. That 6-8 week pause may have been about resupplying more than anything. But I do think now you have a sense that the president has all the assets he needs to really put a licking on Iran. I think if Iran thought they were hit first hard the last time, this one's going to be much more painful.
I can live with that. Final, I know you got to run. Final 60 seconds. When can Americans expect to see Fox News break in with a whole bunch of explosions all over Iran? How quickly?
I think in the next 48 hours, based on the president's comments this morning. But the element of surprise is often our best element. We've head faked Iran many times, including last summer where they thought they were looking for the bombers in a different direction. They came in a different way. So there's always a game of psyops and an element of surprise. But based on the president's comments, I assume this is imminent and that sometime in the next 48 hours, some very serious armaments are going to start flying.
John Solomon, I love you. I really do. Give my best to your family. You're terrific. Thank you.
We listen to you every day. Thanks so much.
Thanks, John. I do love that guy. He's great. He is one of the really, I got Peter King coming up next. He's pretty smart, too. So we got you covered, man. John Solomon and Peter King. You want to talk about foreign policy. You want to talk about what Trump may or may not do. You'll be hard-pressed to find a better 1-2 punch than that. So with that said, after the great John Solomon, let's take a quick break, and we'll go to the former congressman.
Sid and Friends in the morning on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
So they got the World Cup box, which starts tomorrow. Who plays tomorrow? You knew this, Justin, for some reason.
I didn't know it. I Googled it.
Yeah.
I mean, I could do it really quickly again. I don't have the schedule in the back of my mind.
But when do we play?
We play on the 12th, so that will be
Friday. In Los Angeles, we play. And
Paraguay.
Paraguay?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
At 9 p.m.
9 p.m. Friday night, Paraguay.
Friday night in Paraguay.
No, in Los Angeles. Against Paraguay, you moron. Not in Paraguay.
He was looking at the bottom team.
I was, yeah. We're the road team.
We'll be in LA.
Which makes no sense. We should be the home team the whole time.
Welcome to Paraguay Stadium.
Yeah.
Well, who kicks it off tomorrow?
They get the ball first, yeah.
What's the first game tomorrow? Who kicks it off?
Mexico.
South Africa, right?
Is that right? Mexico, South Africa?
In South Africa. That's what
No. Now, you know it can't be in South Africa because they've all got Ebola.
That's true.
You know who was there not long ago? Mark Beckman, our friend Mark, who works for Melania. Melania's in the news today because of all this AI work that's going on. Melania Trump. So Beckman, he goes to Africa.
Oh.
And his wife goes, "What are you, nuts?"
Yeah.
Now that I spoke to him when he got back, he's helping Gabriel out with something.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. And he said he's okay. I don't know. He's not glowing in the dark yet.
Okay. Well,
but he was there for that.
Why? I think you just don't drink the water.
Oh,
right?
God. I just saw a picture of the horse dead on the... Oh, look at that.
That?
What are they showing now? Come on.
We're going to show that on the local news?
They keep showing it. Look at this.
Oh, my God.
It's a dead horse right there in Central Park. Don't show that.
Show a dead body on New York 1.
Yeah, that's true.
What are they doing?
I don't know why they do that. And I'm still okay with the horse and carriage. I'm sorry, I'm not one of these crazy animal rights people.
Yeah, except for the whole park smells like duty.
The whole city smells like duty. What do you mean the park?
But you're walking through Central Park.
I know
it really smells like
I
duty.
know it is.
You know what that channel likes? Do they just like to beat a dead horse to death?
See what he did? See what he did there?
Great.
Very good.
I can't believe I beat all three of you.
That is good.
And you'll beat us to hell, too. You'll beat us right to hell.
That is good.
Yeah, we're going to Paraguay.
That's not funny. It's not.
That is funny. Yeah, so Kilmeade's all happy. He gets to talk soccer. I did his radio show last week. I'm on every now and then. He's on 210 stations across America. So when you go into his radio studio in the Fox News building, he has soccer balls on the floor. So when you go to a break, for example, he tells you to get up, and he kicks the soccer ball back and forth with the guest.
Oh, that's great. I love that.
Yeah, he did it with me, but the guest before me was, forget him. Oh, it was Tommy Lahren. He's kicking the ball back and forth with Tommy. That's what he does. During the break, he kicks the soccer ball back and forth, and then he critiques you on the way you're kicking the ball.
Oh.
Can't make it up.
No, that sounds fun.
He loves the soccer. He loves it. He just loves it.
Nothing like incorporating the sports with your guests.
I know.
Who don't care.
Yeah, but he loves it.
Well,
so
he played Division I college soccer, did he not?
I think his kids did, too. I don't know. Yeah.
He's a big soccer player.
All right, Pete King, I don't think he ever played soccer, but he's a big sports guy. Former great U.S. congressman for the better part of 4 decades and Homeland Security. He's done it all, and he basically runs Long Island. So LaPetri wants to win. It's all about King. And who's my friend now running against Laura Gillen? I like this. What's her name again? I like her. Well, she was in...
Janine Driscoll.
Yeah, Driscoll. Pete, you're basically in charge of, all the politicians on Long Island, yes? You're like the Godfather.
No, Joe Caro is the man. Don't get me in trouble. Joe Caro is the man. I've known Joe for 50 years. He's the guy that brought the Republican Party back. He's on top of it all. I jump in every now and then when he asks me to, but no, Joe's the man. Joe's the man.
How do we look in those 2 races, specifically Driscoll and LaPetri? I think LaPetri's coming on next week. How do we look in those 2 races moving forward?
I actually lived in Janine's district, so besides knowing her a long time, I live in her district. I think she's got a real shot. I'm going all out with her. I think if she really is developing a very strong local following where her end of town, which is right near New York City, unfortunately, and she spreads out east. She's doing a great job. She really resonates with working people. She got 4 or 5 kids. Son's a cop. She's been active for years. So I think Janine really represents the taxpayers of Long Island, of the South Shore especially. Michael Petri, the last time around he ran, there was very, very little attention on his race. All the money and effort went into Anthony D'Esposito's race, and that race is conceded to Tom Suozzi. It ended up being like a 2-point victory only for Suozzi. So there's a question if we had done more for Michael Petri, he would have won that. So now he's off and running. He also had a 2-year head start from the night he lost until now. He's been going full steam and raising money, going door to door, up and down the streets, everywhere. Michael Petri is a real hustler, a real hardworking guy. So I think we can take both of those seats back. We really do. But I got to tell you something, Sid. last night I was out to dinner with Rosemary, Melissa and Lance, Bill Flanagan, Natalie, good friends of mine, at Caramia Restaurant in Seaford. Everything was going great. And this woman comes up to me and she goes, I love you. I voted for you every time you're in Congress. You're absolutely outstanding. But I really love Sid Rosenberg. That ruined my whole night. Ruined my whole night.
It happens.
Melissa and Rosemary wouldn't let me forget it.
Pete, it happens to you. If I'm wrong, because I know you, it must happen to you 4 or 5 times a week. Let's be honest.
I hate it. Yes, it is true. So the woman, with that, I turned my back and tried to walk away. And Rosemary's laughing. It was terrible. Ruined my whole night.
Well, you know what? For what it's worth, your county specifically, if I ran for office, I'd win. I'm very popular. I go to events for Mazi Pilip. I go to events for Bruce Blakeman. Initially, when and Bruce Blakeman admits this, he gives me a majority of the credit for beating Laura Curran the first time. I would go out there, Pete, as you know, to actually, and for him and for Ann Donnelly, the great district attorney, and they would come out in big numbers. So, listen, I work in Nassau County. The fans like me because they are the real Americans. Not every one of them is a MAGA person, not all big President Trump people, but those are the real Americans. That's why I resonate in that county.
Well, you saw that when you went to Officer Diller's funeral. The American flags were everywhere. The little ribbons were everywhere. And so it really is patriotic. Like in Massapequa, you were there. They were handing out water bottles to people. I mean, it was just so patriotic. So, no, it's great community, all of them. You're down the line, Seaford, Belmore, Wantor, and then where Janine lives, right on the edge of New York City. They are very, very Republican. For one, they are anyway. But secondly, they just look across the street and they see what can happen. With New York City. So we're in good. Joe Cara's brought it all together. The thing is, it was always there. It started to slip a bit, and then when Bruce won in 2021 and Ann Donnelly won in 2021, Pat Ryder being the police commissioner, all of that is really what guys like you and the people in Belle Harbor love. I mean, it's very patriotic, very pro-cop, very pro-military. And they, even when they have differences here or there with the country, they would never, ever, ever think of burning the American flag.
Oh, God, no.
Saying anything disrespectful about the government.
Never.
They love America.
No, they do. No, it's only one place that seems a little confused as of late. The kids are running wild. I had this conversation with Bruce Blakeman last week, and then I find out the same place, no one actually signed up to run for mayor. Bayville, what is going on in Bayville? They don't have a mayor. The kids are running wild. What's going on?
Yeah, that is way up north. I represented Bayville for a while years ago. I don't know. It's sort of remote from Nassau County. I really can't speak to what's happening. I can't believe they don't have a candidate for mayor. I mean, how crazy can you get? And we do have these, let's face it, sporadic instances of violence break out with kids, whether it's cars, whatever. But the thing is, the cops go in. Pat Ryder takes care of that. We've never had anything get out of control. And if there is like one bad night, you're not going to have the second and third bad night. I mean, that's I've gone to all the demonstrations against ICE and everything. Basically, they set the firm rules. You can demonstrate here, you cross the line, you're getting locked up. And it worked. I mean, there was with all the anti-Kings rally and anti-ICE rally and everything they were doing, nothing ever got out of control in Nassau County because they know that the Nassau police with Pat Ryder and Bruce Blakeman standing behind him. Pat doesn't have to worry that the slightest thing goes wrong, the county executive is going to come down on him. This isn't like New York City where Jessica Tisch has to constantly be concerned about what the politicians are going to say. No, Pat has basically a free hand to do what he has to do, and Bruce supports the cops all the way.
And that's why it works so well. Talking about Bruce, Hochul's out there bragging about her anti-ICE legislation. Homan says, lady, take it easy. I'm coming in. Gun, big barrels. I'm bringing in more ICE people than you ever saw in the state of New York. And she's freaking out, and Mamdani's freaking out. So she's had a rough couple of days. And Blakeman was at the Knicks game, I know, Game 3. I did see President Trump, which was very, very nice. I don't know what he's doing today, but he's out there every day and canvassing the whole state. I've heard people say, well, I need to see Bruce more in the northern. He's there all the time. He's doing an amazing job, actually, still performing his duties as a Nassau County executive, but at the same time campaigning to be the next governor. And he is gaining on all these latest polls. He is down to double digits. At one point, he was down by 26 when we initially started polling this race. So right now, it is Bruce Blakeman that has the momentum, not Kathy Hochul. he seems very confident. You know, we talk like you, Pete. I think Blakeman and I talk just about every day, and he is very confident he'll be the next governor here in the state of New York.
He was that way in 2021, and people were saying, where's Bruce? He's not doing enough. He's down by 15 points. Laura Curran can't lose. And she was, by the way, a popular county executive. Unlike Kathy Hochul, Laura Curran did have a lot of support. I mean, there were people who really liked her, but Bruce had to turn that around. And right till the end, I would say the day before election, you know, the geniuses were still saying Bruce couldn't win. Well, he won because he just kept going, and he built support everywhere. And the people who say they haven't seen him, open their eyes. He's everywhere. He's everywhere. He's upstate. He's downstate. He's out in Nassau County, Suffolk County, the 5 boroughs. And, again, this is a big, big state, but he's there, and he keeps going, and he doesn't get discouraged. And not only are Bruce's numbers going up, more importantly, Kathy Hochul's numbers, as far as I know, every poll I've seen, she's still under 50%. And if you're the incumbent and you've been in office 5 years and you can't even get half the people of the state to say they want to vote for you, you're in trouble. Those are votes that are there for Bruce to get, and he's working as hard as he can to get them, and I'm confident he's going to get them.
So I'd be remiss if I did not bring up foreign policy with you. You're as good as it gets, Peter. I know you just heard my conversation with John Solomon. You've been listening to me every day for a long time, and I made no bones about it. You know how much I love Trump, but I get people in here, and they're telling me about Scott Bessent, and we're strangling them, and it's going to work. And I'm like, I don't know. I don't see it. I wanted Trump to light the skies up. You know that, Pete. I was adamant about it 2 months ago. So I keep saying, come on. You can strangle them financially. They don't care. They don't care if their people go hungry. The guys that are in charge, they're eating fine. Some of them may be in trouble. They flee to Afghanistan. But for the most part, the guys in charge, they're fine. There's only one way to end this. It's not by strangling them economically. We got to blow the doors off. I've been saying it for months. Solomon thinks the time is now. What do you think?
I do. I think, and I'm trying not to be critical here, I think President Trump underestimated Iran. In that Iran is not Venezuela. It's not Armenia or Azerbaijan. These are fanatics. They will fight and fight and fight. They've been planning for this for years. They've been defending against it, preparing their defenses for years. And it's not a real estate deal, and it's not dealing with countries like Venezuela. And he's got to
hold on. When you say it's not a real estate deal, and you know I love you. To me, that sounded like a veiled shot at Steve Witkoff.
It's not veiled. It's a shot. What he's doing there. Does he have any idea of Middle Eastern history or what's going on?
No.
I mean, because in there, it's not a deal to be made with Iran. It has to be subjugation. They have to realize that they're going to be destroyed and they've absolutely nothing left. These aren't people that you can, split the difference with. It's not like, trading 58th Street for 59th Street or one hotel for another. This is blood and guts. These are animals, these people over there. Those people now the average Iranian, the Persian, they're excellent people. A lot of them have come to Nassau County, and they've done a phenomenal job, especially in areas like Great Neck, which used to be 90% Democrat. It's now Republican because the Persian community moved in there. They're great. But the leadership, the IRGC, those Ayatollahs, they are not just, they're madmen, but they're not. They have crazy ideas, but they will do everything. They're smart. They will do everything they can to stay in power, and you can't threaten them. They don't care if the whole country starves.
No.
And even they're willing to starve for a while. This isn't like a guy like Maduro who was just trying to build up money and power for himself. These people are committed to a deadly, evil cause, starting with the fact they hate Israel, they hate Jews, and they hate Western civilization. And that's why we have to be careful. Listen, I agree with Bibi Netanyahu. Even if I didn't, the fact is we're not living in that lousy neighborhood. They're the ones who live next to murderers and killers.
Yep.
So every time we take strong action in Iran, which we should, well, the first ones to bear the brunt of that are the Israelis.
Yeah.
So Netanyahu's got to do what he has to do.
He has to.
Not because he's Netanyahu, but he's doing it to protect his country, just like we would. If you said if Brooklyn were attacked, or Cincinnati were attacked, or Long Island were attacked, or if, let's say the Mexican cartel started firing across the border, we'd bomb the hell out of Mexico.
That's right. That's right. But we expect Bibi to he's a bad guy, according to Cory Booker. And I'll tell you something else, Pete, and this I know for a fact. There was a time, and the Israelis still love President Trump. They love him like I do. They love him in big numbers. But his popularity in Israel is starting to go down. I mean, I speak to all these people there. They're like, they need Iran to be decapitated. Because, as you said, Cincinnati's not in trouble. Portland's not in trouble. Anytime anybody takes action against Iran, people die in Tel Aviv. So they're counting on us to finally cut the head off of this monster. And every time President Trump elects not to bomb, and we'll talk to them, Israelis are also losing their patience. So not only is Trump frustrating some Americans, but his overwhelming popularity in Israel is starting to wane just a bit.
Yeah, that's why I think he has to go out. Listen, I don't have the inside information John Solomon may have. I'm not down there anymore. But if we have that type of weaponry, do it and do it. And listen, if any country is going to cut back on civilian casualties, it's going to be us. But the thing is war, and whatever we have to do to destroy the IRGC, go in there, use it all, and don't say, okay, let's hold it off for another few weeks. You don't hold it off until they're dead. That's when you hold it off.
That is such a great job, Pete. One of your best performances ever. Thank you for this. And
I'm still in a bad mood because of that woman last night.
No.
I'm taking it out on you. My God.
Yeah, well,
Sid Rosenberg. I don't. Okay, here you go.
It's going to happen again tonight. Pete, I love you. Great job. Great
go to
job.
Your watch party. Okay, good enough. Bye.
I may go to the watch party. As Pete just said, he's funny. He listens all morning. I love Pete King. I really do. I'm considering going with Gabriel and his little friend Led, who's now 6'3", to this watch party. And I want Justin to come. But, Justin, you said you may come, right?
No, I didn't. No, what? What?
Didn't you say you may come? Or what else do you have to do?
What do you sit at home and watch at home in the peace of my
I know, but it'll be cooler if right on the street.
Will it? Will it?
Yeah, but if somebody punches you across the face, it'll be great for the show.
Then I'll have to punch him back. I'll go to jail for the night, and I won't be at the show tomorrow.
So what?
Oh, okay.
What are you, nuts? That'd be great.
If you're saying it's okay.
Yes.
Then fine.
I'm encouraging that.
You're encouraging I go and behave degeneratively tonight and get myself arrested.
Yes, I am.
Okay, fine. Good.
The mayor will like you.
My mom's going to be happy.
The mayor loves people who get arrested in this city. He loves that. If you go out there, you cause violence, you cause chaos.
Right.
He loves that.
But what if it's because I'm yelling obscenities about him?
He won't care. Well, didn't you almost get arrested on Saturday because some Jew hater came at you or something?
Yeah.
Some Irish guy?
Some Irishman. Some Dubliner.
Yeah, those guys are the worst.
Came at me.
Sorry,
Pete. Stole my star. Made a beeline for me.
He saw your Jewish star?
Yeah.
And what did he say to you?
Made a beeline for me. Started, he was slick about it. Started the conversation off, with Peaky Blinders. I told him I like Peaky Blinders a lot. Cool accent, yada, yada, yada. I know Killian. Yeah, I know Killian Murphy. So I turned to my friend who I'm there with, and I say, watch this. In 5 minutes, he's going to turn this into hating the Jews.
And he did?
Yeah.
All right, Peaky Blinders. Scott Licata is still going to join us. The amazing,
Inshallah.
Yes, inshallah. God, what is that again? What does it mean again?
It's like God bless.
God's will.
No, God's will. That's right.
Inshallah.
Right. Inshallah. We'll talk to Scott Licata, the amazing artist and relentless patriot, coming up. Before I hand the football off to Brian Kilmeade, that's coming up in about 45 minutes.
Sid and Friends in the morning on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
I've been upping my fiber, too. And I think it's working because I actually made a duty in my pants on the train yesterday. Yeah, that was good.
That might be working a little too good.
I don't know. But it was a rough trip home because I had to sit in it on the ferry. I'm not even kidding, from Wall Street to Rockaway, literally duty. And then I had to get on the shuttle bus with Ray Nieves, and it was duty. And,
you got to get from that. You got to walk off the ferry.
I had to walk like 8 blocks and squishing duty. And,
I bet you weren't the only one, though. Usually,
with duty in my pants?
Yeah, on the subway.
I'm the only
ferry.
guy walking around with a sport jacket and a great tan with that, though.
That's probably true.
The guy on the corner was, who's begging for cigarette money. No, that's not a big deal. But for me, you would have bet against that, I think.
Keeps the weirdos away, at least.
But more fiber. You gotta eat healthy, and I look great, but there's a price to pay. We'll take a break. There was a whole generation of young guys at WFAN, not the veteran stars, Mike and the Mad Dog and Steve Summers and Beningo and those guys. Whole young generation. Guy named Chris Carlin. He went on to produce for Mike and the Mad Dog, became an on-air talent. He had the afternoon show at the Fan for a while. They called him the Continent. I think he's at ESPN now. Mark Malusis, another one, the Moose, and a young kid named Sal Licata. And Licata and Brandon Tierney had the midday show not that long ago. The same show that I had back in the early 2000s with Jody Mack and Joe Beningo. Well, they moved on from Brandon and Sal because Craig Carton came back, my guy Craig. But Sal is doing great things. Has his own podcast. He's on SNY. He's still a very, very big fixture in our local sports community. Never been on this show before. So because Benigno canceled for a golf tournament, we'll talk Knicks and Spurs with one of my proteges. Sal Licata makes his first appearance on Sid and Friends in the Morning.
Sid and Friends in the Morning on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
I don't want to talk about it. I told y'all Trump would mess everything up. It's his fault. It's his fault. Yeah, Jalen Brunson then passed the ball. He shot twice as much as everybody else. OG Anunoby had 28 points on 13 shots. Jalen Brunson had 32 points on 25 shots. It was like he was trying to win MVP. It's not how they played the first two games. But it's all about Trump. Trump ruined this. President Donald Trump showed up here and disrupted the vibe, disrupted the momentum, disrupted everything. And the New York Knicks faltered because of it. It's all his fault. That's all I have to say.
Trump in the building tonight. If we lose, Trump's fault. He made that claim on this show. Now, in all fairness, he had done it on Instagram before, but he did make that on-air claim with us on Monday. And then the Knicks did lose. And now he blames Trump. So Trump was very nice about Stephen A. on the tarmac at Kennedy after the game. He said, look, he's not too bright, but he's a nice guy. Now, today on Truth Social, President Trump opened up a can of whoop-ass on Smith. He repeated the low IQ, but he said he's dumb as a box of rocks and would make Joe Biden's debate performance against me look good. I got to say, Lewis, that may be the worst thing you can say about anybody, because that was about the most embarrassing moment in TV history.
Oh, forget it.
Right?
With Biden, that's a bad analogy.
So Stephen A., he's all happy that Trump is even talking about it. That's all he cares about. So we bring on all these sports guys on this show, because I still love sports. We cover sports on this show, as well as Boomer and Gio, but we don't bore you to death with all the minutia. Right? So Carton's on the show once a week. Benigno's on the show once a week. Mad Dog's here, Russo, about every couple of weeks. Steve Summers every couple of weeks. But I want to give this kid a shot, because that young generation of Chris Carlin, Mark Malusis, Sal Licata, they're all talented kids, but I really like Sal a lot. And he had a shot at the midday. He did a good job. Him and Brandon Tierney, they did a good job. Craig came back, and, it's a tough business, but Sal is still doing great. Has his own podcast, and he's on SNY, and I like him. So here he is making his debut on Sid and Friends in the Morning, our old buddy, Sal Licata. Sal, good morning, pal. How are you?
What an honor. I appreciate the opportunity. Been way too long, Sid. How's it going? Congrats on all the success. I mean, my God, President Trump, Stephen A. Smith, this is unbelievable.
It is surreal. I'm being serious, Sal. It's even crazy for me, and it's been great. We're having a great time here. 10 years already at ABC, but you're doing well, too. I do play your clips every now and then from your podcast. I'm happy for you. And you're doing the TV stuff still, and, you're young and handsome, and you still wear those Michael Vick jerseys, or you're done with that? Is that over?
No. Come on. See, that's 20-something years ago. After the dog fighting, I moved on from Michael Vick.
No, you didn't. No, you did not. You still wore it.
Well, did I? I don't remember that.
I don't remember. No. I mean, you got to understand, you're walking in with a Michael Vick jersey, Eddie Scazzeri's walking in with a Dan Marino jersey, Dave Bunzel's wearing some unknown soccer player jersey. This was a place of business.
Well, yeah, right. What I will say is those are my fondest memories of being in the business. 20-something years ago, hanging out with you guys. You were on the air, we were behind the scenes, but just the camaraderie that we shared. I missed that terribly, and I loved it so much. And really, for me, as somebody, you were my favorite on-air personality. You and Dog, growing up listening to you two, so becoming friendly with you over the years, it's been great. So I miss you, Sid.
No, I miss you too. And by the way, Sal's not just saying that. He told me that many, many times over the years. He looked up to me, and he loved me, and he loved Dog. And it is different, the old place in Astoria, Queens, and Imus would complain about the mold, and it was, it was in terrible, terrible shape. But we were a family, and I've done a lot of shows, from Hudson Street. The newer van. It's just not the same. It feels like you're in an office building, and I'm still, I'm best friends with Craig Carton. I love Chris Olivero. I love him. The Gelbs and those guys are still my buddies, but the whole atmosphere changed when you went from that dungeon basement in Astoria to an office building in Manhattan, right?
Yeah, 100%. It was not the same. So for me, once they decided to move, it was the old days, the good old days were over. It just felt more corporate and business-like.
Yes.
That's why I'm grateful that I had the opportunity to work with the legend, whether it was Imus there and hanging out with his crew, obviously Mike and the dog, my two favorites, getting the chance to work with those guys, you and Jody, you and Joe, you being a part of the Imus show. To me, those are the glory days.
I agree with you. Those were the glory days. But I'm glad you got a shot at the midday show. And you guys did a very good show, you and Brandon. But again, you're still doing a terrific job on your own podcast. So let me get right to it. Stephen A. is blaming the Knicks. He's not alone. Blaming Trump, I should say. Spike Lee, that moron, he's doing the same thing. And then you get Max Kellerman. And I said this morning, Sal, I said, if you showed me one Republican, not even MAGA, take Sid Rosenberg out of it. I'm MAGA. I'm good friends with Trump. We text each other fine. Just give me a Republican who's saying the same thing. I give you something. Now, Stephen A. Smith is not a hater. He's not. He's on News Nation with Bill O'Reilly talking up Trump every now and then. He seems to be a little more common sense, but he's certainly not MAGA Trump. And the other guys, Kellerman, Spike Lee, they hate Trump. So it's easy for those guys to say something as silly as, we lost because Trump was in the building. That is ridiculous, no?
Yeah, but he's executing the plan perfectly. Think about it. Stephen A. Smith, who's a fake Knicks fan. He's not a real Knicks fan.
He's not?
For the blue and come on, he's not a real Knicks fan. I'm not buying that nonsense. You think Stephen A. Smith is wearing the losses the way real Knicks fans have worn losses for the last 20-something years? I'm calling BS on that, but I give him credit because he's executed the plan perfectly. Think about it. It's one thing to get the attention of the national media or the players. He's got the attention of the president.
Yeah.
The president is talking about him and tweeting about him.
Yeah.
That's a win for Stephen A. He's won.
True.
Obviously, Trump had nothing, and I'm not political at all. Trump had nothing to do with the Knicks' turnovers and sloppiness and the bad officiating. They lost the game to a good team. It happens. It's not Trump's fault. But, man, maybe I wish I was smarter, like Stephen A. Smith, to be able to get the president's attention. Blame Trump. Sure, it was him. All his fault.
It's a good job. He did. He got the president talking about him now 2 consecutive days, and that's really what he wanted. But let's get to what you just spoke about, which was Brunson, 32 points on 25 shots. Brunson has had one good quarter. That's the bottom line. He's had a magnificent season. We're all ready to put Brunson ahead of Patrick Ewing as the third greatest Knick ever behind Frazier and Willis, and he might deserve to be there when it's all said and done, but he has not had a good series. He's had 3 relatively ineffective games, and the officiating was an issue in Game 3. And like you said, San Antonio is a really good, young, physical, big basketball team. So what do you expect to see tonight, Game 4 at Madison Square Garden?
I think tonight, Sid, it just comes down to what you believe in. I believe the Knicks are legit, and I believe they're the better team in this series, and they were going to win this series from the beginning. I believe that they're going to have their best effort tonight and bounce back. The overreaction is ridiculous. They win 2 games, everybody's calling sweep. They lose a game, now it's, here come the Spurs. You're right. The Knicks have not played their best game yet. Brunson has not played his best game yet in the finals. Is that a credit to the Spurs? Sure. I think a part of that is credit to the Spurs defense, their physicality, Wemby's presence in the middle. I, though, fully expect that they'll bounce back. Also, Brunson has not been shooting the ball well, so we can credit the Spurs and their defense and the physicality. He's had some good looks that are just not going down right from the beginning of the games on, and they've been a little uncharacteristic with the sloppy play. So I think that loss in Game 3 kind of woke them up a little bit. Maybe some of the pressure is off, not having the anticipation of the first finals game at the Garden in 27 years. The expectation that the Knicks were, in fact, going to sweep after they go up 2-0, that's now out the window. And tonight maybe they get to relax a little bit and just play basketball. And I expect that you'll see their best effort led by number 11, who I do think has surpassed Patrick Ewing. And I think when all said and done in this series, will surpass Mark Messier and join the ranks of Eli and Jeter as a New York sports god.
Oof, that's a big one. I know the Rangers are not as popular, although immensely popular in New York as the Knickerbockers, but Messier delivered a Stanley Cup, the only one we've gotten in 90 years. So that's a big one. I'm not there yet, but I hear you. He's going to be in rarefied air. There's no question about that. And I agree. I think they'll play well tonight. Do you think Mike Brown does anything different? You know, he went to Landry early last game. Bridges got about 3 minutes. He took him right out. He went to the bench. You think Mike Brown does anything different?
No, I think the one thing I'd like to see from Mike Brown is getting Karl-Anthony Towns more, having him be a little bit more aggressive. I love the fact that he's so unselfish, and the Knicks play well as a team and have been unselfish together, good ball movement, all that stuff. then especially if Brunson's not going to Brunson's best ability, they need to get Karl-Anthony Towns involved, specifically in the fourth quarter. So that would be something where I'd just be nudging him a little bit to be a little more aggressive and less passive. If you've got a shot, shoot it, dude. It's okay. And same thing with going at Wemby, too. These guys dribble in the paint, and then they dribble right back out. Go at him. Let him block a couple of shots. That's fine. Throw an elbow at him. So maybe a little bit more aggression in the paint going after Wemby, and then specifically with Karl-Anthony Towns being less passive. Outside of that, though, I think the Knicks just got to keep doing what they do. Remember, they played 3, they won 2 of these games. Like, the Spurs are good. This is what happens in series. I know Knicks fans don't understand this. Series do go 5, 6, or 7 games. It hasn't happened for the Knicks this year, but it might happen in the NBA Finals.
All right, Sal, where can people find that great podcast of yours and listen to you on a daily basis?
The Sal Licata Show, YouTube, Apple, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts.
And it is every day, right, Sal?
Yeah, Monday through Friday, and then I'll be live tonight after the game. Obviously, after the finals, I got to be going live. So certain bonus episodes, but yes, Monday through Friday we do live shows.
And you're still doing SNY stuff too, right?
That is correct. Monday through Friday, baseball night in New York, 6 p.m. on SNY. Yes.
Oh, God bless you. I'm proud of you. You're a great kid. You're great on the air, and you're one of those. You're rare. A lot of young kids today, they taste a little success and they don't give the credit to some of the guys that got there before them. You're always too willing to do that. That's why I love you. So congratulations on your success, Sal, and welcome to Sid and Friends. You'll be part of the crew now. Thank you so much.
You're the man. I miss you, truly, Sid. I miss you, and it's been an honor to be considered a friend of yours, somebody I grew up listening to and idolizing. Your style on the radio, your personality. So to call you my friend is an honor, and I appreciate you having me. And congrats on your success. Hanging out with the president? I mean, come on, that's a big deal, so congrats.
I love you, Sal. Thank you. You really are great. Thank you. That's what a nice kid, huh? Sal Licata. He's talented, too. Very, very talented, but a great kid, too.
He's good.
Yeah, fun, too. We had some good times, and he's doing well for himself. I'm happy for him. Check him out every day, the Sal Licata Show and SNY nights on baseball as well.
Thanks for listening to Sid and Friends in the Morning. You can hear Sid and Friends in the Morning weekday mornings at 6. If you like the podcast, share it with your friends and listen anytime at WABCRadio.com and download the WABC Radio app. Hit that subscribe button on all major podcast platforms. Plus, follow WABC on social on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and X. See you next time for a new episode so you never have to wonder.
What the heck is going on here?